Hello and welcome to the Friday live stream, my beautiful and wonderful movie peeps. It is so nice to see your lovely faces here today. It is unfortunately a sad beginning to the Friday live stream because we must pay respects to Catherine O'Hara, who has sadly passed away at the age of 71. I should have just had the photo pulled up, if I'm being honest with you. How disrespectful of me. But yes, I'd like to address it just right off the top. Get it out the way, how much of an icon this actress was and how much she will be severely missed. Of course, a lot of us know her as the mother in Home Alone. Lovely there, but she still has been working to this day. She was in Beetlejuice. She was even most recently in Seth Rogen's studio. I'm sure she was planning to be in season 2. Gonna suck that she's not a part of it, but always a loss when we miss a beautiful icon like this. And man, every day is just like, who's next? Who's going to be the next one? And it's always going to be someone you like. And this is one of those times. Moment of silence for Catherine O'Hara. Thank you for all the joy you've brought us, and I hope you are at peace now. Hello, my beautiful movie peeps. It is here still time. We're going to get the laughs going. We're going to get the goofing around, and we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about here today. Some of the things we're going to be looking at here is Sony and their creative, ingenious look at marketing. One movie that comes out in 2 years or a movie that comes out in 6 months? Yeah, be surprised what they said. Let's market that one first. We got Hoppers, Pixar original that's actually tracking to release pretty big. What makes it different from the last couple of Pixar movies that weren't so hot coming out the gate? Fast and Furious, the final film now has a title. How are we feeling about it? We got a big update involving the Saw reboot with James Wan and Lee Winnell. They really give us an idea of the direction they're going with, and I think I like it. Might have some hesitations though, but overall I like it. There's a rumor going around that James Gunn could be the one ending up to direct DCU Batman. Do we believe these rumors? How would we feel even if he did do it? Wonder Man, that just finished off, and there was a report going around that he could show up in Doomsday. Now, this is another situation. Do I believe it? And if we did, how could it happen? Along with a brand new look at Avengers Doomsday, we got a little comic book cover that released, giving a shot at some of the heroes. We're going to zoom in on their faces and rate them whether we smash or pass. Of course we're not going to do that because we'd smash all of them because they save our lives. Go Avengers. Someone said, Chris, teach us your hair routine. It's not right. I have camera hair. I have hair that looks majestic, nice, and good on camera. I don't know what it is about, like, or the way it's swirling in. But in person, in the mirror, I don't like the way my hair looks. I've been itching to go get a haircut, but I have a son and I can't just abandon him to get a fresh fade. That kid is stopping me from my bi-weekly fades. I might have to get rid of him for it, honestly. I mean, nothing stands between me and my freshly fades. But thank you, though, for saying that. I appreciate it. I'm going to teach him how to fade me up. Go bald. I don't think that work for me. I have a lumpy, oddly shaped head. I have more like an Adam Sandler egg head, not very round. I think if I went bald, I'd lose all you guys right away. The baby's nerfing Chris. Yeah, he came out and said 10 aura points deducted, haircut deducted by 50 points, but love and joy in his heart, infinite. And for that, I am a rich man. Thank you. I'll be here all week, guys. I'll be here all week. All right. Let's see, though, what else you guys have to say. Everybody can hear the sound bites, right? I was doing some stuff with my computer and messing around, hoping the sound bites is still good, because I've added some new ones. I've added some ones that are going to make you feel cringy or going to make you feel a little upset, but hey, I had to throw it in there. Okay, good. Yes. Glad that they're being all up on there. All right, let's just go into our first movie news story, and that way we can bang things off. Let's start off with this, man. Okay, so we have some major biopics in the works, right? We have the Michael movie, which, oh, wow, who's Michael Patrick O'Hara? Oh, I hope that wasn't, okay, well, I don't even know about that, but we have the Michael movie, and I did my video recently where I predicted the hits and flops of 2026, and I had a surprising amount of pushback on how high I suggested Michael was going to be making at the box office. Like, a lot of you, I'm thinking you must be 12 or 13 and you don't understand who Michael Jackson was and his level of fame. The guy literally was making people faint, was having everyone around the world just at his knees even before the internet was a thing, okay? Controversy or whatnot aside, his music really touched a lot of people, and I'm just expecting giant crowds, but I had some of y'all pushing me back. Well, another one where maybe I'm on the other side of that is the Beatles, because we got the Beatles biopic coming around, and I was so shocked with the way they decided to release this, because it'll be 4 Beatle movies released year after year. I think each one focusing in on a different Beatle. And well, we got a little promo and picture with our first look at all 4 of the Beatles. Now, the reason I said I'm be on the other side of this coin is because I'm not a big Beatles guy. Yeah, that I know that just killed a lot of your respect for me. I understand. Just never got too into it. Nothing against their music. They were just never something I popped on and played. But I've also known the hype from the Beatles. I've known that they're one of the biggest bands out there, and they're so beloved, and they're this big thing. So it has to be for them to go 4 movies. The Michael Jackson movie is going to maybe get 2 movies at best. Beatles, they said 4. And, looking at them, I see them. I've heard Beatle impressions over the years. Oi, Ringo, we've got to make ourselves a Beatles CD. We sing about Beatles, not Doonbugs. Rate that from 1 to 10 down below how good of an impression that was. But this movie got a promo, got released, these first look official photos with little words showing off Paul Mescal is Paul McCartney. Oh, Paul is a Paul. Okay. Barry is Ringo, Joseph Quinn is George, and Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. His story doesn't end that well. I'll tell you that one. But this movie actually releases in 2028. April of 2028 is when this project releases. 2 years away. And my friends, this is a Sony movie. And Sony has Spider-Man Brand New Day releasing in 6 months. Yes, I know it's the meme. I don't have a sound effect for that, but still, 6 months away. We don't have an official poster. We don't have an official promo image. We barely have comments from the director or Tom Holland himself. I'm like, I get the Beatles are big, but 2 years away, we need to reveal this and let that out there when you have this movie sitting in there? What's going on? I'm not thinking that this is a panic situation or that they're hiding the movie, but man, more and more, I'm like, could there be a delay? Is there still talk about that? Are they rushing to get this thing done? That's one of the things we were always hearing about behind the scenes, that the movies, not exactly meeting their schedule, that it could be delayed. And I was like, with the rate of the marketing and everything going on, yeah. But lately in Hollywood, I've also noticed a shift. Gone are the days, like this Beatle movie is a rare occasion, but gone are the days where you market a movie that far out. A lot of times, for some movies, a month or 2 months is all the marketing campaign you get. I mean, even the ones that do start a marketing campaign, they'll just sometimes throw a trailer, a poster, and they say, hey, you remember when the movie's coming out. Look at Scream 7. That movie is just like barely marketing itself, comparing itself to Scream 6. Is that maybe a situation here where we won't see any sort of marketing until like 3-4 months, and then maybe they'll just go all for it? They'll do something else. I did see someone just tweet. Let's see if I can pull it up. Spider-Man news account, really great Spider-Man news account, saying that they saw that it looks like McDonald's will have a collab with them. It seems McDonald's will be doing a Spider-Man Brand New Day collab. 3C food review. Yeah. Gonna come out, gonna order a Big Mac with my Big Mac hanging out. I don't need dipping sauce. I'll be dipping it in my own sauce. What? I just work here, dude. It seems the toys will be offering the collab with plushies. Okay, cool. So that's still going on. We don't have an exact date for that, but they have like some collab and marketing behind the scenes going on. Someone just said, brother. um, but man, it'd be cool to get another Spider Burger. That's Spider-Man Whopper that came out with Burger King. That got a lot of buzz and a lot of free marketing. Maybe they saw that and were like, well, let's do a Spider Burger from McDonald's and see how they could do that. But it's still like let's look at when the next Sony movies are. Sony movies list. Let's see when they're going to be coming out for 2026 cuz I want to see. I know we got Goat coming out. Would Goat be a good time? That's this February. Is that when we could see it? February 13th? It also, they're having the Spider-Verse people on there. I'm thinking it's the Super Bowl, but Sony is kind of notorious for not being at the Super Bowl. Let me see. Look up Sony Super Bowl trailer. When's the last time they were actually at the Super Bowl? How much to spend? I'd be extremely shocked if Sony doesn't. This is where I would ask ChatGPT, but I can't do it with you guys watching me, because then I will have proof that I've used ChatGPT, and then I'll be canceled. But man, it would be kind of crazy if one of my chatters asked it and said, hey, so when was the last time Sony marketed a movie at the Super Bowl? It'd be wild if one of you guys did it. I'm not saying I condone it. Don't do it. He says, you're a fraud already. Damn. You're a fraud. How dare you stay what he said? Says none. But all I'm saying is Sony is notorious and rare for ever promoting a movie at the Super Bowl. So even with the rumors that, maybe they will, the Emoji Movie, no, you're lying. No way. Someone said hypocrite. The Emoji Movie was the last time, 2010. And other times why I'm just not being for real. I rarely use it because the times I have used chat, it gets the stuff wrong. And then I'll tell it, hey, that's wrong. And it goes, you're right. The information's actually not that accurate. But if you give me some sources, you want me to do your job? Yeah, they ain't taking over anything. Let them try. I will push that AI robot down. What were we talking about? So, honestly, GOAT could be a very good showcase. February 13th. They could come out with that because that's what they like to do, is release it alongside one of their movies. And you have the Spider-Verse right there. So the kind of some synergy, but it's like, what is taking so long, man? I would like just like a poster, something like that. Maybe they'll hear our cries and all the people complaining. It's like really cool that you marketed a movie 2 years away, but what about Spider-Man? 6 months? So, we'll see. Someone said 65 in 2023. Well, even then, that's 3 years ago. And 65, that was probably a film where they were like, another example of why we don't, because 65, I think, flopped for them. And then they were like, yeah, we're not doing that Super Bowl thing again. And I don't blame them. It's so expensive to market at the Super Bowl. I did like the little, I thought this was a great ad. I'm a Coca-Cola guy through and through, but Coca-Cola has been pissing me off with those AI commercials. Because I love the warmness and the nice feeling of a holiday Coca-Cola ad. And for the past 2 years that they've been doing these AI ones, just so heartless, so dumb. So the way Pepsi came out with this and having a polar bear craving a Pepsi, I love it. I think it's great. I like the competition. I like how they're fighting one another with it. If, as a Coca-Cola head, and if they weren't being complete idiots with the AI, I'd be like, Coca-Cola, it's time for you to resurrect Pepsi Man for your ad. Go Terminator with it. Change his bionic chip and make him Coke Man. Oh, wait a minute.
Say that again?
That'd be a wild commercial. Can you imagine that? We've resurrected him and programmed him to be Coke Man. Oh, that's crazy. Hand him a Coke. Oh, wrong program. So, this is still a Spider-Man topic, right? That's what we're talking about. You guys let me know how you feel, though, about Sony marketing a movie 2 years away, but Spider-Man Brand New Day is in 6 months, and it has not been released. What up with that? Yeah, that was Taika Waititi. I just noticed him, too. Okay, let's move on to the next topic here. Hoppers. Hoppers. Okay, so we got a new Pixar movie up and coming called Hoppers. There's actually already been a couple of reviews out, so maybe we can actually look at the early reactions like this one right here. It says Hoppers is unhinged in the best way, escalating until it has an emotional climax only Pixar can pull off. Dave Franco's vocal performance is standout and unrecognizable. Working with amazing animators and a couple visual gags are instantly iconic. Can't wait to see it again. Okay, cool. I didn't even know Dave Franco was in this. Um, but as part of the report that's coming around with some of these reactions is we're seeing Hoppers is on early track to earn 40 to 50 million on its domestic opening weekend. Previous Pixar films like Elemental and Elio couldn't manage to open with 30 mil or above. This is kind of a big deal, okay? Because long are the days where you just slap a Pixar logo and then people run out to see it. The Pixar brand has been hurting for some time. I think there's multiple reasons you could really list off, but some of the bigger ones is during the pandemic, Disney just decided to drop Pixar after Pixar movie straight onto the platform, so it gave it the straight to streaming feel. I think they also got very experimental with the original movies they were coming out with. Like, yes, you could bring up how Inside Out 2 did awesome, Toy Story 4 did awesome, but those are sequels. We're talking about original Pixar movies. They got very experimental in their ideas where they became such niche, not as broad as it used to be. Because, again, I think that's the thing early on that made Pixar movies so, I don't want to say relatable, but manageable for parents to go out and see because they just had great ideas. Like you think about like something like Finding Nemo, just a dad who loses his kid and wants to get him back. Relatable. You have something like Incredibles, a family of superheroes. Okay, we could see like what would that be like for your family to be superheroes? Cars come into life, monsters in your closet. What's the thoughts in your head? Then you got to some ideas that were like, huh, okay, what if you were a gay fish? I still believe that's the hidden meaning in Luca, and I don't mean that negatively. I love Luca for that, but there was so much in that movie that it's like this is an allegory, and you can't tell me otherwise, and it's great for it. But you also have Turning Red, where that was just very specific. That's obviously a relatable topic to little girls, and I knew there was some backlash with it, but I think they also teeter totter because that was surprisingly horny movie, man. I'm saying what I'm saying, okay? I'm making someone just said eye roll. And I think hey man, it's out there, dude. I was the they he was a fish who was hiding who he was inside. And when he was refusing to do that, they were going to send him away to a camp to fix it. The allegory was strong there. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, and then oh dude, don't even get me started on Lightyear. Lightyear I thought was going to be amazing. Was going to be the next best thing. Was going to be one of their biggest one. It was also one of the first Pixar movies to feature a post-credit scene, and we're never going to get the answers to that post-credit scene because it did not perform well. All I'm saying is Hoppers, I think, is doing what maybe something like Elio did it and having a strong premise, looking like it's a lot of fun. And maybe we're seeing the signs that parents or audiences are back on board with Pixar. You had, because Elio wasn't a bad movie. A lot of people didn't show up, but Elio wasn't a bad movie. Elemental wasn't a bad movie. Heck, I really don't think Pixar has had a bad movie. More just kind of like, like I said with Lightyear. Other I still like a lot of these, but they just felt like they weren't hitting as hard. I was really only Lightyear, I would say, was the one that was most suffering. And so it's just cool to see Pixar is back on top like this, that an original movie by them is actually tracking to have 40 to 50 because that was just kind of hard for them. And Pixar said it time and time again, they're not going to stop making originals, but that means they also have to make more sequels to fund these original movies when they don't make that much money, like Elio did. And that's the trade-off, and that's why I don't get mad when they announce Toy Story 7, when they announce Incredibles 5, or Inside Out 10, which I'm telling you, Inside Out is going to go as far as they've gone with Toy Story. We're going to see Riley eventually become her own parent, and we're going to get inside the mind of Riley's kid. That's how far I think we're taking the Inside Out franchise. And it's fine, because in the end, we'll get more of these movies, and then someday maybe Hoppers 2 will happen, right? Or I don't know, maybe one day we will get that Lightyear movie, but it's the nice trade-off. So To me, someone said, no, you should be, man. I can't, man. If it was only original movies that Pixar was making, they'd unfortunately be going the ways of a lot of animation studios that we've missed, like a Blue Sky. I know there was other things involved with that, but there's animation studios that have died out because they just stuck to only original, and that's just such a risky game to play, you know? Audiences scream all the time. They hate sequels and all that, but that's what they be showing up for. And when Toy Story 5 comes out this year, boy, is it going to make a Billy easy, and then that'll fund 2 or 3 more original Pixar movies. So, yeah, and yeah, I want Zootopia 3, yeah, and then we'll get another, I know that's not Pixar, but Disney Animation, they're doing the same thing with Zootopia sequel so they could fund other originals, because sometimes they have movies that flop, like Wish. Wish was not a Disney animated movie that did all that well, but hey, it was a risk they were able to take. So, what about studio? I think that's just an entirely different situation, and they make them such low budget that they eventually turn a profit kind of way. I actually don't know too much about the model with Studio Ghibli there, but I mean, you look at something like the group who do like Paranorman, Kubo, and the Two Strings, that stop motion animation. They're constantly on the verge of just being done because their movies don't perform as well. They're very well loved by the movie community because they're great movies, but they don't get the love they deserve. So, yeah, Elemental 2 would be cool. Elemental 2 would be cool. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Hopefully I didn't piss anyone off with my word vomit. Okay. I'll read those comments later. Fast and Furious. Okay, it is time to get back to family, guys. Oh yeah, that's a new soundbite I added just for this. As you guys know, we had Fast X that released in the year 2023. So it's going on 3 years now, and that movie ended off on a giant cliffhanger, setting us up for a big epic finale. But man, we have not gotten there. We have just been all in our bedrooms going, and I'm just like, when are we getting this movie? Well, we actually have an official release date and a title for when we get to see our family again. It says here that the movie will now be releasing March 17th, 2028, meaning it'll have a 5-year gap from the last movie. I can't imagine how many other part 2 movies. You guys let me know which one has had the biggest gap, whether, you know, you think of like a Hunger Games a Mockingjay part 1, part 2, Deathly Hallows part 1, part 2. These part 1, part 2 finales, I don't think they have usually this big of a gap of 5 years. But along with that, we also have the title from Vin Diesel himself. He has it here. No one said the road would be easy, but it's ours. One thing that defines us and became our legacy. And the legacy lasts forever. Fast forever. That's how I imagine Vin Diesel showers. He's just in slow motion, the water hits his bald head. He has conditioner on just because it helps with flakes, but then it does not have the same effect if it's so. I have to do that face every time. Sorry, guys. It's part of the deal. Make it even louder. No, no, that's okay. That's all I'm going. Okay. Either way, the title now is Fast Forever. Not bad. It works. It's supposed to be the last movie. The last movie. I low-key would have liked it if they switched it. Forever Fast just sounds more natural to me. It rolls off the tongue better. Forever Fast. All going to be in the theater March 17, 2028. But whatever. Fast Forever works too. All right, couple of questions about what's going to be going down in this movie. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, why did it take so long? What's with this 5-year gap? I believe Fast X had a lot of behind-the-scenes issues, and remember, they had to fire the director. There was that infamous, like, really bad, what you would call it, like, look where the director was just so uncomfortable, and he was just like having kind of like a standoff with Vin Diesel. Where is that photo? What was his name? It was Justin Lin. Justin Lin. And it was just like you could tell the dude was just, I want to leave, I want to quit. Where is that? Right here. just he's just like, this is gonna be the best one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm definitely didn't just put in my 2-week notice right now. I mean, he's like, ooh. But bro left and they got a different director. The movie was fine, but it ended up costing so much money, reshoots and problems and things like that. And then looking at the box office of it, it didn't hit the way others did. Fast and Furious was a franchise that was hitting billions of $1 billion, or was getting close every time. 704 was showing waning returns, and with the cost of it, so it was just kind of like, from what I understand, is they had to figure out how to make the movie this big epic finale, but also not spend a boatload of money, and that's been the biggest thing they were trying to figure out behind the scenes, is make it this big movie below it. That's why Vin Diesel's been talking about, we're taking it back to the streets. We're gonna meet your family. We're gonna have a barbecue. Paul Walker? And it's just a guy in a ping pong suit because they forgot to animate him. But you use your mind and you know that's Paulie D. I don't know where the D came in because it's a W with his last name. Miss you, Paul. Put the pen down, Unc. Paul Walker hologram would go hard. Can you imagine that? With AI, I've downloaded my subconscious because I have to babysit Dom, but my hologram will help you. Okay, it's got to happen. Unfortunately, I think Paul Walker, this being the last movie, they feel like they can't end it without him. Now, I will just see how it does, whether it's tasteful or not. In the end, it'll be up to the family, and we know the brother stepped in Fast 7, and he's gonna get a paycheck, so why would he say no to that, right? And I'm sure some of that money will go towards the family, and if they give their blessing, well, it's not much we can do as an audience, but minimal use of AI and all that would be better, as long as it's not a freaky deep fake face. Or what they could do, which I think would kind of work, is just have Paul Walker's brother there, but never show his face. Just kind of do like show the back of his head or do so. I don't know. It's gonna be hard, but he's got to be in there, and hopefully it's just a quick cameo at the end or something in there, and not too involved. They're just gonna involve. Okay, that too. The Rock, is The Rock gonna be involved in this movie? Because there was a post-credit scene involving The Rock, and you guys remember infamously, Dwayne Johnson was like, I'm not coming back. I never want to be in this. I had a terrible time. That bald dude, we kept fighting over and over. But Vin Diesel, the charmer he is, he beep, boop, 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 hit up The Rock and just said, I'm so sorry. I spent time adding it to the soundboard. I'm gonna abuse it. Anyway, he's got to be a lot of money. He's not cheap. He's gonna be a lot. And also, how if you have him, how do you then kill off freaking John Cena, dude? You had The Rock and John Cena in a movie. You could have set up a fight between them. Marketing the movie with a fight between John Cena and The Rock will be enough to sell a boatload of tickets. I'm still thinking they didn't completely kill him off, and maybe he's out there, in hiding. But dude, if Fast X completely happens and they did kill off John Cena's character, what a waste, especially when you were bringing back The Rock and they could add a little just muscle tussle fight scene, right? Uh, so I'm curious about that. I'm curious about other people's involvement because I've heard the rumor that like they're gonna bring in, was it Ronaldo? And I'm just like, isn't Cardi B also in this? It says Vin Diesel wrote a role for Cristiano Ronaldo. It could honestly be a similar role to like what Pete Davidson, Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds. These are all actors that live within the world of Fast X, but who knows if we'll ever see them because they just be making cameo appearances. If this movie is smaller scale and they're going back to street racing and family, is that going to be satisfying? Funny enough, though, I think that was the only part, whether it was Fast 9 or Fast X, you guys have to remind me, but I was not a big fan of Fast 9, but I think there was flashback scenes to when Dom and John Cena were like, or Jacob, whatever his name is, were kids or teens or young adults, and they were racing. Those were the best scenes in the movie with all this crazy high octane stuff, the flashbacks to them racing. So I think there is a way you could make the racing actually work, and although it's smaller scale and not as big as what they've done, it could work, right? Yeah, that's Fast 9, cool. So yeah, we'll see. Like I said, title's fine. It's all right. Just 5-year gap, dude. I feel bad for that kid. That Fast X kid, he's gonna be a full-on adult. It's gonna be the Stranger Things effect, where we're supposed to catch up with this kid moments before I think a landslide or a bomb is about to hit him. 5 years is gonna go by, and he's gonna have a beard, and he's gonna be like, "Father, we gotta get out of here." I don't know. We'll see. Slow forever. That's what it seems like. A prequel. Oh, no. This kid, whoever is famous, like 5-7 years from now, they're going to recast that role, and they're going to do the Fast and Furious legacy, and they're going to have everybody in the cast is going to have their own kids, and they're going to do this all again. You betcha. You betcha. So we'll see what happens. Title's fine. At the end of the day, I do like these movies. They're guilty pleasure. They're fun. They have gotten my interest in them has gone down, which is a little bit of just they kind of lose their charm. It's like, hey, you've gone as crazy as you can now that you went to space and all that. Admittedly, I will say I like Jason Momoa's villain a lot, so I kind of want to see him as the big Thanos bad to end it all. I'm just curious what they're doing with the Paul Walker stuff, if The Rock's involved. You guys let me know one last time. Okay, that was it. And that's not even the most annoying one we're going to get to. All right. Oh, it's time to move on and talk about the Saw reboot here, guys. Oh. Oh, and it's not just one. Papa added 2. And I bet you they're loud as hell, so I'm sorry for blasting your eardrums right now. Let me go turn those down a little bit. Why 2? I have a very good reason for why 2. Y2K? They go hand in hand. You can't just do one and another. Someone's in my bleeding. Oh, my, loud as heck. Maybe that one goes down a bit. Okay. We're going to get to talking about this Saw reboot, but for these sound effects to have the full effect and annoy you to the full potential of their limit, I need to explain the difference between the intensity of these sounds here. So let's take a little masterclass on soundboarding because, hey, this is important. This is when you suspect your brother of eating poop. You got evidence, you've got an idea, but you've never caught him. Till you come home one day, early. He was unexpected. He didn't know you'd be at the door. You open it, and you catch him eating poop. Yep, that right there. That's all you need to know about these 2 sound bites. Let's move forward with the story. So, as you guys know, Blumhouse is now a half owner of the Saw rights, and with that, we were able to give the original creators of the Saw movies their legacy back. So let me see if I can. James Wan and Lee Winnell. James Wan was the original director, and Lee Winnell was the writer and a star of that first movie. And now they went to Sundance this past weekend. They were there showing, I think it was like the 25th or some anniversary of Saw, so they were showcasing it. And they got to answer some Q&A questions and give you an idea of what they're planning to do with the Saw reboot in Blumhouse. And it actually really opens the door for what they're planning. So let's start off here where they tell us Well, I can tell you this, Juan says. It's definitely not Spiral. It's not Spiral. And I still blame Lee for killing off Jigsaw because it's effing hard to try and make any future Saw movies without Jigsaw. Lee Winnell says, well, he did have cancer too, by the way. He was going to die anyways. And James Wan, that is true. That is true. This is what I'll say. Lee and I, we're not going to give too much away, but we don't think you could make a Saw movie without Jigsaw. That's the bottom line. And ultimately, we want to hark back to the spirit. What Lee and I love about the original first movie, the original first movie, which is Jigsaw's philosophy and what makes him tick. Ultimately, he's a scary guy in the first one, and we want to go back to making Saw scary, a scary Saw movie again with this omnipresent thing that Jigsaw had in the first film. Okay, so we're going to pause right there before we go on a little bit more. But all right, let me get into some Jigsaw photos here. So Jigsaw's coming back. Jigsaw is coming back in this Saw movie. I'm assuming that means then John Kramer, which Tobin Bell, always happy to have them. I do not want to wish anything negative, but I got to get the elephant out of the room, okay? Actor is not getting any younger. I'm not saying he's not capable of it, but I remember there was even behind the scenes reports. The Tobin Bell is not as high energy as he used to. It was kind of a struggle for him in some scenes, and I think you could tell in Saw X he was feeling weak. It honestly worked for his character because he has cancer and he's dying, right? So it works, but I am kind of surprised that they're like immediately, yeah, Jigsaw, we can't have it without Jigsaw. I love that they're going for that. But I do wonder then, does that mean a recast? Does that mean we're going to do like maybe a both ways kind of way where Tobin Bell will be in it, but we'll be doing flashbacks to a younger Jigsaw, and that younger Jigsaw will kind of like take on the franchise further? Because something else that that was mentioned in these interviews that, let me see if I can get into it here, is they also don't want to get rid of anything that's already been set up. Although James Wan only directed the first movie and Lee Winnell only wrote the 3 of like the 10 Saw movies, they don't want to lose what fans have grown to love and like about this. So it says here, let's try and find the exact moment. 3, helping them shape the story, but I'm probably the one person in the world that has been the most removed from the franchise in that regard, other than giving my blessing. Here we go. He says, so I want to go back to what touched on the first movie within regards to that. At the same time, I want to honor what people have come to love about the franchise, whilst trying to do something fresh and new that we haven't seen done before. You could take that to mean either way, that he doesn't want to erase any of the sequels. He doesn't want to just completely wipe the slate clean, because he understands, although he wasn't involved with those movies, people like Hoffman, people like where Dr. Gordon goes, some of the story plot points, and for him to go in and remove all that, even though I think he's right to, because he's one of the original creators, he doesn't want to do that to the fans, and all respect to them. And I'm thinking a lot of that is also the half owners, because Blumhouse is not in full control. Lionsgate, I believe, right? Lionsgate is still a half partner, and they're like, hey, you're not going to erase the sequels that we worked on. We still got to sell those DVDs and licenses on streaming, buddy. So you're not making those movies irrelevant. Okay, fine. Now, as far as this idea of going back to the original theme, I would say we're still kind of on that theme, and we haven't really lost it. If you look at like Saw X, I think it was a perfect like kind of flip of the script while still being part of Jigsaw's Code. Jigsaw's Code, again, goes after those who are ungrateful for their lives, who have lost their way. Admittedly, a lot of the times that's drug addicts, that's people that touch others inappropriately without consent. It's dirty cops or something like that. In Saw X, it was people who were scamming. It was people who were taking others' lives for granted, their hard-earned money, people who were sick, stealing all their funds, and now giving them a cure. And Jigsaw was a victim, and so he taught them a lesson for that scam. I feel like that still fits the Jigsaw Code. You're doing something scummy with your life. You're not living it to better the world. So Jigsaw's coming at you. And it was one of the first movies where you're like on Jigsaw's side, where you're like, dude, yeah, get them, because these guys suck for doing that. This time around, though, it seems that you could probably still be on Jigsaw's side. Like I said, they could go after somebody who's, again, doing terrible things, who's murdered somebody, maybe got away with it. I was seeing people were talking about that Saw 11 was gonna go back to dealing with like people in the insurance, kind of similar to what happened in Saw 6. That was a big factor because Jigsaw went after people who were just trying to find any way not to give people insurance money for their sickness and illness, and then he put a guy kind of through a trap, which was one of the better Saw movies. So I think that's a great path. It's good. I like the idea of them saying it'll be scary again and that we'll fear Jigsaw. There was also a report going around that whatchamacallit, that James Wan would direct this one. That has been debunked, unfortunately. I got so hyped when I read that James Wan would direct. But no, it just means that he was just saying that he and Lee Winnell will be making the movie, as in they're heavily involved. But it does not look like James Wan is actually directing it, which, dude, I got so hyped when I read that. It looks like they're just going to be there more for story purposes. Maybe Lee Winnell will write it. I would love it if he actually wrote it, but it looks more like they're just going to give pointers and directions, and someone else will take the helm from there. So that sucks, but I was excited for that. But I like this direction. I'm not going to say no to Tobin Bell and Jigsaw coming back. The idea of making it scary again, going back to the original concept of just people who are undeserving of their life. And with that, you could honestly still have all the lore, but without having to like make new audiences come in. Because like Saw X did that. It's like, yes, there are things that connect the story, but this is kind of its own self-contained thing. If you find a good group of people ungrateful for their lives as they committed a bad crime and Jigsaw wants to punish them, I want to see it. So I like this idea. I think it could go well. You guys let me know what you think about it, or what specific topic they could hit, whether, again, it'd be like people in the insurance industry, maybe politicians. That would be a crazy one. They haven't really done that yet, have they? They haven't gone after like a politician. Then again, people don't like messing with that stuff in their movies. They just want to be entertained. So they've already done dirty cops. They've done, I don't know, they do a bad parent. They do hospital officials. They could do somebody that is deserving. Now I'm trying to think of like a group of people that could be in it. I think government officials could be like, expose them for, maybe they're more focused on money than helping the people around them. Dude, Jigsaw with the president, that'd be crazy. Can you imagine how Jigsaw, especially with how much Secret Service and stuff is around, in that pig costume? There he is. He's going golfing. And then you get to him. Hello, President. Welcome to my saw that I jig. I call this the helicopter. Forget you saw that. Okay, let's move on, and you guys talk about what you think would be a cool idea and what it works, and if you like everything they're discussing here. I am kind of surprised that Jigsaw's back. I really thought they would wipe the slate clean. I thought that they would start fresh, that they would kind of bring in new lore, or maybe they do a thing where they're like, everything up until the second or third movie's canon, and then we're deviating a bit, or they do a Spiral situation where they just said, here, it's not going to be like Spiral, where Spiral was kind of like a spin-off. It was somebody trying to take the mantle of Jigsaw, be like Jigsaw. This is like, no, this will be Jigsaw. And you think it's messed up for me to say Tobin Bell's not getting any younger, and maybe, we shouldn't have the movie hinge on him, which I think is so terrible of me to say, but I would just hate. Honestly, also, because I think Tobin Bell ended his Jigsaw career so perfectly with Saw X. It's kind of a situation where it's like, that's such a great closing of a chapter for that character in all these movies, to try and bring him back and do something else. I feel like it takes away a little bit like that, right? But you guys let me know. Someone said, Chris, don't say that. Yes, I know. I said, disculpame. I'm sorry. Let's move on talking about James Gunn, old Jimmy Gunn. So, as you guys know, we've been getting some reports about DCU Batman, and there was a new rumor going around that I do want to clarify, because some people were like tagging me and going like, see, Chris, James Gunn is going to be doing this. So, we got here, it says Jeff Snyder, who broke the story about Christine Hodson writing Batman the Brave and the Bold, hints that James Gunn might actually be directing the movie after Man of Tomorrow, which, Some people are still on the fence on whether it's actually going to be Andy Muschietti who carries on that and whatnot, just because of the backlash involved with the Flash. And you guys saw how crazy everyone went when we finally got it officially confirmed. And yeah, Jeff Snyder was the one who broke it. And then the Hollywood Reporter came in, confirmed it that Christina Hudson was the one to be writing the Batman movie. And they're like, no, she did the Flash. This is going to be bad. And even James Gunn has already defended her. We have someone here who told him, oh, wow, so does that mean no Christine Hodson? She's getting so much unjust hatred, it saddens me. And James Gunn says, I will only say anyone mangling Christine Hodson's screenwriting skills has almost certainly never read an actual screenplay by Hodson. She's one of the writers who was with us early in the DCU planning stages. I don't think you can judge my writing based on films others directed, as massive liberties are sometimes taken. And people pointed out something that I was like, oh, that's a good point. In that last statement, James Gunn said, you can't judge a screenwriter's writing based on someone else's directing. I think he's got to be referring to The Flash, understanding that's what most people are complaining about. Writer of The Flash, we don't like The Flash. Why would you give the Batman? And he's saying, well, you can't judge her on The Flash because she just wrote it. She didn't direct it. But James Gunn is notorious for like, Flash, best movie in the world. I love it. Well, maybe exaggerating, but he was like very big on The Flash, loves it so much. And hey, kind of right there with you, Gunn. I get some people don't, I'm a defender of it, but it was nice to hear him kind of say that. And so with this report, I did look at the actual clip of Jeff Snyder saying this, and I will say this isn't entirely accurate. He wasn't giving a scoop that he hears James Gunn will actually direct it. If you listen to the clip, Jeff Snyder is more speculating based on all the knowledge he has. He goes, I think what we're building up to is a reveal that James Gunn is going to be the director. And I can see those breadcrumbs and why he feels that way. I mean, for one, James Gunn has said also he is heavily involved in the co-writing process. There's several interviews where James Gunn says that he's working with the secret writer every day meticulously. That's Christine Hodson. He was working with her. So he's kind of a co-writer in this project, and he's trying to get it done. And James Gunn, say what you will about whether you like the quality of his projects or not, since he joined DC, man has been a machine. Season of Creature Commandos, season 2 of Peacemaker, Superman, Man of Tomorrow. A lot of those are multiple episodes, also things like he has just been nonstop writing. And I would still say those are pretty decent projects in comic book to be churning them out so quickly. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of hands his ideas, gives bullet points of what he wants to happen to someone he trusts, Christine Hodson, and he's like, all right, I'm directing this, because he's a big Batman fan. I think he's gone on record saying Batman is his favorite DC character, so why would he not, as the guy in charge, make himself the one to direct this? So I do see it as a possibility, but right now I'm still leaning on Andy Muschietti. It feels like every time they talk about him, though, in the trades, they open the door for his exit. Whether it's because of Welcome to Derry being successful, Andy Muschietti's getting more offers for movies and projects, and that could make him unavailable for Batman Brave and the Bold. Then they don't really have to fire him or let him go and have that bad press. Just go, oh, he's busy, our schedules aren't aligned, I guess I'll step in as James Gunn, director of Batman. And dude, I know. Let Sam Raimi direct. We've already addressed this. He like straight up had already. He knows there was this hero spamming. Sam Raimi wants to make Batman. Sam Raimi wants to make Batman. James Gunn, doesn't mean you have to spam. Huh. Okay. I would love a Sam Raimi Batman, but I think another reason why I would believe this is because James Gunn is aware of the pressure. James Gunn is aware of how important, or how you thought Superman got a lot of criticism. Everything about it was questioned left and right. Because if you were online the day Superman, anytime a photo, a poster, a teaser, anything got released of that movie, it was put under a microscope and it was analyzed. When it's time for Batman, it is going to be times 10. And I think James knows that, and I think he wants to take on that challenge. He might want to be the one to steer the ship, because it's like, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So I could see that being the case, but we'll just have to wait and see who ends up doing it, or whether this ends up happening. But like I said, the current report going around isn't entirely true. It was more Jeff Snyder just kind of speculating based off the things that he's been hearing, but not necessarily saying, I hear that is what's for sure happening, but I also see it as a real possibility. I throw it off to you guys. If James Gunn ends up being the one to direct the Batman movie, do you see that happening? Do you think it could work out? I'd like to know. I'm starting to become like, is this going to be the Blade for the DCU, where it's a Batman movie we just always hearing about, but we never get to actually making it or getting there? That's how it felt. I mean, that's in a weird way. That's how Ben Affleck's Batman movie was for the longest. It's like his Batman movie was announced like after Batman vs Superman, and it was just years of delays and changes and all that till it just became a completely different Batman with Robert Pattinson. And James Gunn's contract is set to end in 2027. Man of Tomorrow comes out in 2027, and James already said not going to release a Batman movie with Matt Reeves' movie also coming out that year. So earliest would be 2028. His contract would not only have to be renewed, he'd still have to be put in charge. So lot going on about this. You guys let me know how you feel. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about Wonder Man in Doomsday. So, I will say we'll be talking some spoilers of Wonder Man. Hopefully you've gotten a chance to actually watch it and binge it yourself. I am still so shocked. I ended up actually liking this show, thinking it was really good, such a refreshing take. Reviews up if you want me to gush about it, but you guys know, don't care about the Disney Plus projects, but this was a winner for me. Well, along with that, there was a report going around that Wonder Man could be making an appearance in Doomsday. And it's not just a report. We have someone that flat out asked him. It says here, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II will reportedly return in Wonder Man in Avengers Doomsday. Again, sources coming from John Roca and Jeff Snyder, so sometimes right, sometimes wrong. But here we have a video of him getting point blank asked.
Obligatory question, will Simon Williams return in Avengers Doomsday? They'll be like, why didn't you ask?
And it's a no comment. It's a no comment, which, I don't know which way we could take it or not. Sometimes I feel no comment is a comment and sort of like, well, yeah, dude, but I can't say anything. Because I think whenever they ask people who actually won't be in the movie, they just straight up said, oh, I haven't gotten the phone call. I actually don't know about that. I really don't know this and that. I mean, this was just flat out, I can't say anything. I can't say anything. Now, I'm going to talk about why I do believe he could be in it and why I believe
they'll be like, why didn't you ask?
Right? So let's go into why I think he won't be in it. For one, Doomsday has pretty much already been filmed. I know they still got reshoots and some things to do before the movie gets released. I don't think you could have banked on adding him into the movie. Not saying he would have had a huge role either way, but because you just didn't know how the audience was going to respond to his character, I think it would have been too risky for Kevin Feige to put him into the film, have a place in there for him, because the show could have came out and everyone hated it. I mean, the show is amazing and really good, but you gotta admit it was such a different MCU show that's ever been done. Audience could have easily have rejected it, and this could have been one of the most hated Disney Plus shows because of how different it was. That reason alone, I feel like they wouldn't risk throwing him into the movie because it's like, well, we don't even know if anyone will watch this or like this. So there's that. Two, it's already such a stuffed, jam-packed movie with so much going on. There's a lot of other heroes that people have been wanting that have even come out before Wonder Man that have not gotten a chance to like even show up, whether that's a Moon Knight, whether that's really it's honestly just Moon Knight, right? But it's also like Echo, Werewolf by Night, characters that maybe weren't necessarily going to have a place in Doomsday, but I bet a lot of people were like, Moon Knight probably could have been in there somehow. Okay, so there's that. For sure. But then looking at how he could be in Avengers Doomsday, okay, I have some theories. So one of the things that was going around after this with buzz about where they could go, let's see here if I can pull up the actual article. They were asking about what they could do for a season 2. And the showrunner says, yeah, we actually do have an idea for a season 2. Here it goes. It says here, exclusive. Wonder Man Season 2 potential storyline has been teased by showrunner Andrew Guest. Says, maybe there's a deal to be worked out between Simon and the Department of Damage Control. And I got to actually see the finale twice because my lady fell asleep during the finale. Not because the show was bad, because exhausted from taking care of a baby. So I watched the finale a second time with her, and I caught something I didn't really listen to the first time, where, again, in the finale, spoilers for Wonder Man, as he is freeing Trevor from the prison and talking about, getting out of there, we are also getting scenes of the damage control officer telling him, hey, I looked into this and he has like ionic powers and he could be a dangerous threat or an asset. What? Yeah, an asset. And then it brought me back to what they did with Trevor at the beginning of the season. They could have locked up Trevor right then and there, but they said, no, let's flip this guy and use him as an asset to get another fish. Wonder Man isn't really a bad guy. He's a good dude. He just doesn't want to be a superhero, which I think is so interesting. He's got these powers. It looks like he was born with them, and we're going to talk about that in a sec too, because some people are speculating on his origin. But I like the idea that in a world full of superheroes, and there's already so many out there, his dream is just to be an actor. That's just what he wants to do. And in fact, having these powers puts a crutch on him where it gets in the way of that. I think the Department of Damage Control is probably trying to round up a bunch of people. We're hearing that's one of the plot points for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And, well, they're just a couple of agents with guns and tasers. At the end of the day, to catch superpowered people, you need other superpowered people. I think what they could do then is, all right, we're not going to expose your secret, Simon. We're not going to let the world know you have these powers, but you need to do a couple of missions for us to help us catch some guys and throw them into prison. That's where I think it could come in. It could also be thrown into Avengers Doomsday as someone in there that really quickly they need help. Maybe even use them to fight the Avengers if they're doing something the government doesn't like, which right now there are two different Avengers teams, right? There's the fully sanctioned one, which are the Thunderbolts, and then there's the Sam Wilson one, which is like the unofficial Avengers. Maybe the government's like, go beat up those unofficial Avengers because they're not doing their stuff right. That could be it. And I think it also adds some complexities because now Wonder Man is in the position that Trevor was, where he doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to be used this way, but his dream is on the line. He's finally a big star. He's making all this money. He's getting in movies. And if he wants that if he doesn't want that to disappear, he's going to have to do what they say. I think that's interesting. I think that could work. So that's how I see like maybe this happening, or even like a season 2 if they decide to do that. He's working with Department of Damage Control to catch. Maybe the way it could work is he's actually trying to catch some real bad people. It's not just other nice superheroes. That way there's at least some purpose, because he will save people if he has to, but he'd rather not, right? The other thing with Wonder Man we have to talk about is his mutant. It looks like they're making him a mutant, which is what they were going with. There was a ton of articles going in here where it says here, Marvel Studios had conversations about making Wonder Man a mutant in the MCU. They said a lot of the show's inspiration came from the Fox X-Men movies, and it feels like that's what they're kind of doing with some of them. Like, Miss Marvel has kind of been introduced as a mutant now in the MCU. Wonder Man, they didn't go into his origin. They didn't say he like fell into a laser or got bit by something. No, he just kind of hinted he was born with those powers and he's been hiding them ever since. And that is such a mutant struggle to just want to have a regular life, but these powers are holding you back from something. And especially his powers, he can't really control them because they're out of frustration, out of anger, and he just kind of explodes. That's like a common mutant problem. So I wouldn't mind. Someone said fell into a laser. I don't know what else, man. So, I'm not saying I want it, because at the end of the day, Simon is a character who just wants to be an actor, and I think he should be able to live his dreams and do all that. But he's also such an interesting guy, and they made him so compelling. I kind of would like to see him interact with Avengers, this and that, but I guess that kind of goes against what they were doing with Wonder Man. Up to you guys. What do you think of these theories, these thoughts? Possibly. Again, I still think it's a really low chance he actually shows up in Doomsday, and if he does, quick cameo, but there's an open door for that to work. Okay, let's move on here to this Doomsday photo. So Avengers Doomsday still a-coming, and we're still waiting for some of the official looks of these heroes. Well, there's a comic book cover going around for Avengers Doomsday. Here is the original look. I think someone posted it on TikTok. You can see it all lit up, fluorescent lights. They're getting freaky. Don't blame them. And admittedly, I think this was polished up with AI, or maybe it was just someone who actually released it. So let's just go and rate these faces, these costumes, what we're thinking, how we're looking, especially because we also get our first look at like Magneto's helmet. But I'm like, that barely looks like Simu Lu. All right, so let's start off here. We got M'Baku at the top. Cool. King of Wakanda now. We got Bangrim as the thing. We got bald David Harbour. Cleaned up his beard good, dude. That's not Channing Tatum, dude. That's NPC Tatum. That's just like average looking dude. I don't even know. What is this also for US agent? I was about to say something that would get me canceled. Should I still say it? Yes? No, chat? No, I'm not gonna say it. Nightcrawler. Honestly looking scary, dude. Nightcrawler is looking a little creepy. But it was really Beast. It was Beast to me that I was like, it looks like Grimace and Thanos had a secret love affair they never told anybody, and out came out Beast. That, like, he's got the same chin and everything, man. They really did him dirty there. We got the Falcon, Joaquin Torres, Bucky. I still wish they would give him the silver arm. I know the black is cool and the Wakanda and all that, but I like the silver arm. James Marsden, Cyclops. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, this is our first look at Mystique and her costume. I mean, we know we saw her in the embroidery, but kind of cool. We got her hair going on. We haven't even thought about who she's going to transform into in this movie. Who is she going to impersonate? Who will she end up looking like? That's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully it's not a Mr. Fantastic situation where it's like, for a guy who stretches, he's barely stretched in the movie. For a girl who shapeshifts, barely shapeshift. Paul Rudd in there. Namor. All good stuff. Looking at Magneto's helmet, very well detailed. I don't know if this is supposed to be feathers or just the luscious white hair coming out, but man, that hair was just not rocking the way I thought I wanted it to in that first trailer. Sam Wilson, Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic. I like Franklin Richards here, just kind of looks like, what am I doing here? I could snap my fingers and end all of this. But first, Chucky Milk and Dino Nuggies. Yes, yes. Dr. Doom, just looking doomified. So this comic cover also confirms that kind of art still that we've been getting of Dr. Doom. That's just really like our only official look of him from Avengers Doomsday. You guys know it. We've seen it everywhere. This is pretty much it then. This is the confirmation of what he looks like, because it's all the same symbols and markings and armor. Still looking the same. I'd still be shocked if Robert Downey Jr.'s face was hidden most of the movie, man. They're saying that could actually be the case. I will be shocked. I will be shocked. But good on them. Good on them if they do it. So everybody's looking cool. I do wonder what the explanation for Thor's short hair is going to be. I feel like it's going to be something as simple as, like, since he has a daughter in the movie now, and, you know, daughters and fathers, like, something that they do their makeup, they do all this kind of stuff. Maybe Chris Hemsworth Thor just let his daughter cut his hair. He's like, she liked it short, so I let her cut it. What do you got to say about it? Good stuff. Good stuff. All looking good, man. I still just want to see Toby. I want to see any other surprise characters that are popping in here, any cameos. We were all being told we were getting Chair Part 2, but Chair Part 2 has yet to come. Maybe that'll come in summer, or they'll just save it for the trailers, because I'm thinking they got to show Toby. No way they don't. I'm saying there's like a 60% chance Toby's shown off in them trailers, because that would get a lot of people going and riled up. So, yeah, that was just a look at some of the guys. You guys let me know what you think and what your thoughts are down below. Down below. Let's see. That was it. That's where we concluded some of our main topics. Let me see if the Reddit is having anything worthwhile. Bro has beef with Elmo. Tickle me Elmo. Ranking. Oh, these are the lookalikes. Oh man, these are the. I don't think I look like Soups. No one's ever compared me to Soups. The Do the Roar kid is crazy. Nothing like him. That's the one I look like the most. SpongeBob with his hair. I will take that one, but you put it solo on the list. Nick Avocado. Dude, the amount of times I get tagged in this photo, whether that's actually me, is wild. You guys saying I look like young Sheldon's dad? Where did Sheen come in? This dude is colored. Oh, wrong soundbite.
Say that again?
That's the courtroom going. What did he mean by that? What was what were you trying to say there? Oh, that'd be good. Oh, bald. I wish my head was that smooth, man. It's not that smooth. I don't think it would be. Which heroes are you choosing? Are these the official looks? Because I do remember seeing that Eminem is gonna have a collab, and it made some people go, "Oh, look, they confirmed Wolverine and Daredevil and all this." But I think they were just choosing random M&Ms and people. Bro is thinking about MLP. This looks. I don't even. Oh. That's a nice drawing of She-Hulk. I will say that. I still need to see it. I still need to see this. I know. Sorry, guys. I need to see it. I hear it's good. Lore accurate 3C. Never touches AI. Thank you. Thank you. My favorite moment of the live stream when the sound effect doesn't sound and Chris just looks like he... Oh, did it not play? Oh, doesn't mean you have to spam. Huh, okay. Okay. I didn't even get to use the soundbite I was planning to. There was never a moment for it to happen. So, as we go into the super chatty questions, I want to leave you with this. What the hell was that? Those who know, on the same wavelength, and I love you. All right. Let's go on. Negative 32 aura. So it said, oh no, not you too. My For You page has been flooded with that soundbite. I had to. I thought there would be a time I could use it, but it never came up naturally. Someone said, oh, my eardrums. But those who know, know. Sun Help was so good. Ending was very satisfying. You know what? You know, maybe I talked about this. Dude, how do I say this without getting people mad and all angry? I talked about this, but Send Help is like a good litmus test for whether you're someone I want to hang out with or you're someone that's just maybe on the wrong side of history, right? When you watch Send Help, I think if you're someone that ends up going, oh, Dylan O'Brien should have killed that B word right away. How could that happen to her? But if you were someone like Rachel McAdams, yeah, I'm glad she got some of that revenge in there like that. I feel, because I'm telling you, I think they've seen enough comments going, Dylan O'Brien, all this. But I think there was times in the movie where I was more on Dylan O'Brien's side than Rachel McAdams. She does a couple of evil, nefarious things where I was like, at the end of the day, this guy was just trying to fire you and called you smelly for eating tuna at your desk, which, by the way, don't agree with. You shoved that tuna sandwich into your drawer like that's normal. There's also an innocent person, two, I would say, to suffer fate from you. Didn't really do much to you. So, I don't know. At the end, though, was pretty satisfying. Which jigsaw trap would you think you'd survive? Ooh, that's a good one to do. Maybe I have to think that. Let's see. Saw. Well, this is gonna get me demonetized. Saw traps. Maybe I need to do a video like that for the new one. None of them. Well, honestly, this one was never a tough one. As long as it's someone I don't care about, your trap is just to dig in someone else's stomach and get a key. Oh, homie, I'm doing it. I'm not even using my knife. I'm just fingernail. I'm going to wait for the guy to wake up because I want to hear his screams. Hey, you're up, dude. You don't know me. This thing on my mouth? Yeah, I'm going to fix that now. In through the belly button. Safest entry passage. Oh, you ever watch Muppets? I'm turning you into one, buddy. Yeah, Kermit the Frog, you're looking for a key. We're definitely getting the brand new day trailer at CinemaCon, if not Super Bowl. We also might be getting a little tease for Spider-Verse. I'd like to think so, but like CinemaCon, lately they have become more announcement based and bigger, but at the end of the day, sometimes they're small scale, just kind of reminding people of what's happening. I would love that to be the day we get the brand new day trailer. It seems like it'd be a good way to start. I'm just afraid it'd be Tom Holland and and Destin Daniel Cretton and them just showing footage only for the attendees, and then we'll just have to read a description of it. If anything, it'll probably be the trailer that's already been leaked online that's been going around. But it'd be nice, man. It'd be nice if that was the case. Reaction to first video on 3C Clipper. Oh yeah, I have nothing to do with this, and if anything, I shouldn't support the channels because they're gonna be the reason for my downfall one day. But there is a new 3C Clips out of context channel, which if you're into me having no context, which I don't even know, was it Clipper Hub? 3C Films out of context. Clipper Hub? Let's see if I can. Okay. We'll watch a little bit. We'll see how far we get.
Films lost out on Spider-Man Reboot thanks to these out of
Let's just go right in the
videos.
middle.
That they're animals. It should have been that they're children first, right?
Stayed hard on Phineas and Ferb.
You like black girls?
Yes.
I love them.
I'm starting to get softer.
Drive slow. That's not gonna help. 100 miles an hour. That's the best way because the tire is going so fast, it melts the ice. So you touch concrete again. Drive slow. Get a load of this guy. And I do like how fat Pedro Pascal's butt looks.
Pedro Pascal showed up like that at my door. I'd be like, 3C lore accurate. Let's explore a tomb. And the tomb, it's on the door to the left, Pedro. Let's walk in.
Give him boobs.
I don't want to see some man titties. Unless they really pecked out. Then I guess I'll take a look at it.
Zach is also very good about making a man's body look hot. Hey.
Okay, this is just exposing me now.
So we're just going to take a minute.
Whoa, look at that bulge. Just gave you some gave you some more footage there. But yeah, there's another channel there out there if you want to see and the legacy continue on. Just please save the real bad stuff so I don't get canceled. We need more John Campea crossovers. Well, yeah, whenever I did the little video with him where we asked some questions, he said he'd hit me up from time to time to have me on and all that. So I'm down. I'm down. Back to WWE talk. The storylines are easy to follow and actually fun to get invested in. The Royal Rumble tomorrow starts the road to WrestleMania. Okay, maybe it's time. Maybe that's something I bond with my kid because like I said, I tried to when I was younger. I just couldn't get into it all as much, but hey, I turned him into a wrestling fan. It's a nice community. Hey, Chris, I love your videos. They got me through tough times. I have 3 questions. Will you review Monarch Season 2? Yeah, most likely here on the Clips channel. Dream collab. Oh, who would be my dream collab? Well, I got to already talk and hang out with Chris Stuckman. That was a big one. Man, I'm trying to think of someone like in the movie community I'd love to talk and hang out with, but nowadays not so much. I kind of like some Papa Meat. I wouldn't mind. I feel like that's a guy I could have some funny conversations with. I'll say Papa Meat. Fast food ranking. Well, dude, where do you want me to start? We talking burgers? We talking pizzas? We talking Mexican? I'll just tell you, way too much fast food. I show Speed, like Speed would actually talk to me. I feel like Speed would be bored with me, and then he'd just start barking in my face. I'll just say, frequent Little Caesars whore. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. If Spider-Man magically woke up in the DCU, which 3 characters would you want to see him interact with? Ooh. All right. Definitely Batman, right? I I don't know how that interaction would work or what would happen. Maybe Batman needs to figure out how to get him back to his universe. But I feel like that could work in the sense that like Batman just easily gets annoyed and Spider-Man's just a big talker. So that's one. Um it's easy to like just not to round off like the top 3 and go from there, but I'll do that and then I'll do Superman. Why wouldn't I want to see that? Because that would be a happy interaction. Batman and Spider-Man, they'd be bickering, having some fun. But then Superman and Spider-Man, that could be I picture Superman flying and Spider-Man's web in his chest. Oh, take me through Metropolis. So going someone unexpected then with the final one, Plastic Man. Have him help rob a bank and be like, "Is all of you Stretch?" With comedy, you want to which comedy you want to take a serious role? Which comedy you want to take a serious role? Are you telling me like which comedian I would want to take a serious role? Is that what you mean? Or which comedy I would want to be taken seriously? Or who would I assassinate in a room full of puppies? I went through like 3 different things before I was like, no, I don't think I could say that. That's a little scary. Puppies is where I landed. Comedian that I would like to take in a serious role. I think comedians are great for doing serious roles. I mean, you have great examples like Robin Williams was awesome of that. I liked. I think Kumail Nanjiani did have an earlier movie that he did that was pretty good that he did seriously. I wish he would do more stuff now. I'm trying to think as far as like comedians right now that I would like really like. I'd like to see Shane Gillis do so. I like his acting. Do something funny. So is it that got dark? Saw Send Help last night, and Wild Hog Scene had the whole theater laughing. Fun movie. Congrats to you and your wife on the new baby. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, that hog scene was wild, dude. So much crazy CGI and blood and rampage. I just couldn't believe I've seen 2 movies that do that, with like The Strangers Chapter 2. But at least with Send Help, it was intentionally trying to be crazy and wacky. And it ended up just being a kind of like, what am I watching situation. What trailers are you hoping to see at the Super Bowl? I would love Spider-Man. I hope Spider-Man gets a trailer. I think Supergirl. What are some of the big ones coming out that I really want to see? Let me pull up what the Super Bowl trailers are for this. I am going to plan to do a video, but sometimes Variety waits till the week of the Super Bowl to then do the trailers that actually will be coming out. And then sometimes a lot of these trailers come out even before the Super Bowl. Avengers Doomsday, some sort of tease would be nice, but I kind of doubt it. Michael Jackson would be one. I think Toy Story 5 is a big one. Scary Movie 6 would be awesome, dude. Scary Movie 6, I would hope for that. So I'm going to go Toy Story 5 and Scary Movie 6. R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. Her performance in Home Alone and Beetlejuice will forever be iconic to me. Agreed. Man, it sucks she passed away. What do you think about Matthew Madone's cryptic recent post as Dr. Brenner? What do we do? Are we still talking? Well, I already forgot what that was called. Something Gate. Matthew Madone's. Who's Matthew? For Papa, I think it makes sense that he would come back for the spinoff. Because in the play, he's kind of somewhat important in what they're planning. Because remember, so this Papa, you are like Papa. So I'm assuming he posted something cryptic. Well, in the Stranger Things, let's just look up The Rock. This rock we know is going to be the basis of the spinoff. This rock leads them to, find Dimension X, experiment with that stuff, lead to the Demogorgons and all these things involved. But where this rock came from is from the submarine. It was like a naval ship of soldiers, and one of those soldiers happened to be Papa's Papa, Papa Squared. Um, so I think it makes sense that you would have them Papa in the show in some capacity, whether through flash forward to flash back. So that's probably what it is. It's probably then talking about the spin-off show because it's literally about his dad. He could probably play his own dad if he wanted to. Then maybe they could do that. You look like Psy if he were Mexican. Okay, who's this? Is that the Open Gundam style guy? It is. It is. I've gotten that one before. That is one I need to add onto the list. Someone can just add the sound, but I'm not gonna do it. I've gotten that one before. Seahawks or Patriots? I prefer flamingos. They're pink, stand on one leg, and I think there's something scary about them. Scary flamingos. Yeah. These eyes, dude, they've seen stuff. They're not pink out of joy. They're pink filled with the blue. Look at the way their beaks even curve. Look at that. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know, man. Flamingo comes around me, I'm punching it. Texas Roadhouse, always busy for the live. Oh, no problem, dude. I love Texas Roadhouse. Them rolls. Waiter didn't even bring me rolls. That's my tip. Chris, all 4 Beetle movies come out the same day. Oh, is that true? I also forgot about that. They do all come out the same day. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I can't wait to see how that works as just an experiment. Why do you think the horror genre YouTubers go to when they make movies? Think Talk to Me, Shelby Oaks, Iron Lung. Because I think horror is the biggest return on your investment with a low budget. You could make a low budget drama, but A24 and all that has shown takes a lot to be able to get people to convince them to come. You look at something like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. All that's promised, Winnie the Pooh killing people, made a lot of money, relatively speaking, for the budget. I just think the ratio to what your budget has to be to the potential profits in the theater, it's just bigger to go with, easier in concept, easier to sell. And I think there's just a lot of people inspired by the horror genre. I mean, like, I'm one of them. Like, I want to, if I ever did, I think one of the first things I would do is a horror movie because that's just kind of what interests me. I think eventually then you just, it's so much harder to, like, if you want to do an action movie, with the budget, with that choreography and all that work and insurance. Think about comedy. I think comedies are so hard. Think about like the comedies that we've actually gotten from YouTubers, which I know some of you are gonna unironically say that's a masterpiece, Chris. But you get something like the Fred movie, which come on now, don't tell me you're a Fredonite. Don't tell. John Cena was in there, and probably that was all good. I've never seen it. They're probably all right. But you also had like the Smosh movie. And it's like, okay, come on, was the comedy in that? Yeah, what was it was a Shane Dawson movie? I mean, these comedies, you never hear about them. You never see too much. I think KSI even has one. Yeah, Late in America. It's just, I think comedy is just so different in translation from a movie to YouTuber. It comes off more like skits. It comes off like a straight to DVD American. This gives off straight to DVD American Pie movie. So I think horror is just the easier way to go about it. What's your top 5 movie memes? Oh man, let's just look up movie memes and see what we get. Oh man, these were like some old ones. I remember when this one was around everywhere. All that, Toby. I think you got to include Minecraft in the bottom 5. Minecraft, I think Flint and Steel number 5. I know people were chicken jockeys. I was saying Flint and Steel way too many times. I annoyed myself. I couldn't stop saying it. I do like the Beatles, the B movie with "You like jazz, you like jazz." That was good. American Psycho has a ton of like really great stuff. Trying to think of some other good ones. Oh yes, that's got to be up there. My name's Jeff. My name's Jeff. I'm trying to think of like what is the Mac Daddy. Oh, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Number one. All of them. They fueled me with so many intros. I went so hard I dried my brain out, and now it's impossible for me to come up with cringy intros because of the millions I made from the Tobey Maguire movies. I just squeezed them out. But yeah, good stuff, man. Papa C, love your content, man. If you pick one car from a movie to drive for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Buddy, don't even come on. There's only one car ever, and it could be because it works. You could make that the rule, or it's a useless and I just want it, right? Meaning it's actually a time machine and I can time travel with it, or I just have it and it's a regular car, the DeLorean, dude. Classic, timeless, endless vehicle. If I had to pick a number 2, it'd be Tim Burton's Batmobile. To me, still the best Batmobile we've ever gotten. I love the design. I like the look of it. I don't think any of the designs have gotten close. I know some people like the Tumbler. Maybe, Ben Affleck's Batman car. I like the muscle car kind of look of Robert Pattinson's, but this forever will be the best Batmobile put on screen, dude. Like that is just great. Yeah. DeLorean, though. Good question. Do you know Jimmy Olsen was in Amazing Spider-Man 2? He was Gwen Stacy's brother. Keep it up. Love what you do. Yeah, I've noticed that he was in that. I'm going to grow up to work for the Daily Planet. I think that was one of his lines. If you think movies announce stuff too ahead is bad, don't look at the gaming industry. Also, there's reports of OpenAI to go bankrupt in the next year. I did see that. Ben Affleck was actually talking about that, and that's so interesting. And it makes me wonder if the bubble on AI has popped. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, Ben Affleck was doing these interviews for the movie The Rip, and they were kind of just talking about how AI is being used in the industry and like which way to go about it. And I think he had the most nuanced level take on it that, like, I know some people are like, no AI whatsoever, but I do think in the sense of using it as a tool without replacement, just to improve things that take so long or such work, specifically in animation, not to replace animators, but to make tedious tasks, which the Spider-Verse movies had already done that in the behind the scenes. They talked about it for like simple things to replicate. They would use AI as a tool for an animation, not to generate the image, but just to do the work an animator would spend a week doing, right? But with all that said, they also talked about AI has gotten to like a peaking point where if you want to make it 20% faster or 10% faster, it's going to cost 20 million, 40 million. Like, just to go a percentage faster costs so much money that it's not even feasible to keep dumping funds into it. Plus, there's the energy problem. We know AI takes a lot of energy. You guys have seen all the comments and stuff probably that, using AI uses this much gallons of water. The polar bears are dying. Ice is melting, which is all true. You ever like worked in an office? I know, like, when I worked at the call center, when I had the call center job, we had a room that was just entire modems and dedicated to whatever their servers, and that room was freezing cold because they had to keep it that way because of all the stuff that was going on. Now AI times 10, man. All that stuff and keeping it cool and getting it also. It is interesting, and it'll be funny to see if like AI will be kind of like an NFT, like a bubble. Like, remember when everyone was using AI? Remember when everyone was asking AI something? Or if someone will figure out how we could use it without it wasting so much power, which I just don't know. It's an interesting topic to discuss, because my fear is I just don't want everything to be an AI movie. I don't think that's a feasible way. And I think when you give the power for anybody to make any movie they want at home, it takes away a lot from Hollywood. Because there's just regular NPC people that are just like, wow, I can make Batman at home. Why do I have to watch your Batman, that woke movie? So yeah, what's going on in the chat? Some people saying yes, Jonathan. Okay, cool. But interesting conversations to have. And yeah, AI isn't good for art, and I agree. And AI shouldn't be used to generate things, or because AI can't create new. AI can't make something like send help. Sam Raimi send help. That's all that guy Sam Raimi's crazy mind. AI could never do that. To maybe add another film you get excited for coming out this year, it's called Ray Gun, directed by Brad Bird. Doesn't have an official release date, but it's slated to come out this year. I love Brad Bird. What is this Ray Gun? What's the premise of it? I have not heard of this. Ray Gun. Brad Bird. Ray Gun, it says here, Ray Gun is an upcoming American animated neo-noir science fiction action film directed by Brad Bird, who also wrote the original story and developed it. Is it based on a book or something? Swap? No. Well, cool. I'm in. Let's go. He did Incredibles, and that was incredible.
Say that again?
My time to show low subs. Loki warns Steve that the TVA will prune his timeline because he's not supposed to have a son. Offers him to relocate him and his family to the Fantastic Four's universe. They are there for years. Okay, I saw somebody talking about this, and I have some issues with that. Okay, put myself in the shoes of Steve Rogers, and Loki comes in and tells me all this. One, not going to believe him because last I knew about you, you was trying to take over New York. And that is still the same Loki, even though his ways have changed. But whatever, let's say I do believe him. When the TVA still come in to prune that timeline, because that's where he was living, would Steve Rogers knowingly leave that timeline that's about to get destroyed just to go live somewhere else? It's a little odd. Why would he pick the Fantastic Four as the world to go? Also, we heard a lot of the plot is Doom trying to get to Steve because he's messed with the multiverse. And if Steve has been in Doom's timeline this whole time, what's the point of Doom going through all these different multiverses to find Steve when he was at his home the whole time? So there's a lot of things in there that like make me feel like poke holes, but we'll see. Someone said blue sky? Nah, red ground. Preach. Your top 5 favorite albums. I liked, in high school, I really liked Recovery by Eminem. I was like big on that one. I thought that was like one of my favorite Eminem albums. So I liked Recovery by Eminem. But I'll also admit to you, I was never somebody that listened by the album. I liked a song. I liked that song. I didn't even know what album it came from. I just knew I liked that song. And even when I would start investing into an album, I'd be the guy who's like, I like 3 songs from here. These artists release 20 songs at a time, and 3 of them are the songs that go on the radio, which maybe that exposes me as a little bit of an NPC. Bro only listens to the radio jams? Someone hand him Kids Bop. Big guy. Ice Spice twerk. Says that one, I like the Blink 182 one. Blink 182. What was that? I don't even know the name. I just know it by the cover. Was it this one? Yep, this one. Trying to think what. Obviously, Michael. At the Thriller album. I want to say it was album. That was a good one. Michael. Oh, I guess he just had one, but this one, the Thriller album. I'm just not good with that, man. My movie industry knowledge is not great. I just like songs. You guys let me know your top 5 albums. Kids Bop 28 had some bangers, if I'm being honest with you. Part 2. The events of Doomsday happen. Reed and Doom have a plan, and Reed and Doom have a plan, and Doom Steve and the F4 have to go and stop the incursion happening in the MCU. Interesting. I mentioned last week I'm asking a girl to be my Valentine. I did, and she said yes, and things are looking good, really good. I might be my GF soon. Oh, good. Well, good job, man. I gave you the confidence and aura, so you name your relationship after me. Have you seen the God of War casting? Yeah, the casting's been looking pretty good so far. I know there's some people complaining and all that because I think it was like the voice actor of Thor who's gonna be Kratos, and now they just cast Thor, which is the guy who was in Severance, which I think he did a good job. So I'm kind of excited to see him play that version of Thor for that world. Yeah, it's looking good. Power outage lore, best person on the internet, by the way. I think I alluded to this, but I have had power outages in both Wiltering Heat and Wiltering Snow. The Heat one, I don't think is all that interesting. Both of them happened in the same apartment when I was just trying to make ends meet, working paycheck to paycheck. But man, it was a bad day because it was like one of the hottest days in Texas. And I remember me and my lady, we were just laying in bed in our underwear going, and it was power outage. You couldn't even have a fan, couldn't do nothing. We were just hot, uncomfortable. It was the worst, dude. But then there was Dalaska of 2021. This is same apartment, and you guys who live in Texas might remember it because it snowed and Texas was just not ready with their power grid. So the power went out for a lot of people. I'm trying to look for the actual photos of that time because it was crazy. And we obviously were people who do not watch the news. We're not paying attention to what was going on and the things that were happening. So we ended up being unprepared for Dalaska. And I remember we were hungry. We were starving. We were like, we have nothing in our pantry. We can't order food. We can't DoorDash it because at the time they were canceling all the orders. And so we're like, okay, if we just go down the street, which this was us, it was also mask times. That was us. Snowy atmosphere. Hair was still majestic as F. Hair was majestic AF. Like that right there. How did I have it that nice, man? I need to get it. Is it still that nice? Good day. Man, I need to have it. I remember I even went outside and I took my own. Look at that. Aura. Aura. Yeah. But anyways, as is to say, we decided to take a walk. That was like, I would say like a 5-minute walk to the gas station. Not a 5-minute, it was like a 10-minute walk to the gas station, which did feel dangerous because the roads were icy. It was very slippery walking everywhere. And we're walking on the road to the gas station, and there's cars coming. They could easily lose their control and slide into us on the concrete. In fact, like this is the time they were saying don't go on the streets and all that because a car could accidentally slide and then end up on the sidewalk. But we powered through because we needed some ramen, we needed some chips, we were starving. So we make it to the gas station, and lo and behold, we weren't the only people there. There was a handful of people, and I did feel bad because we whatchamacallit, we did not want to walk back. It was so cold, and it actually did feel dangerous. We actually did see cars sliding. So I did something that like I kind of regret, but it ended up working out, thankfully. There was a nice man there, and I didn't realize what he was purchasing at the time, but he was like kind, and when we came in, he joked around with us. He's like, "Hey man, crazy storm out there, huh? You wanted some food too? You gotta give me some." He was just seemed friendly, and I saw he had a car, and so I was like, "Hey buddy, I'll buy whatever snacks you get. Can you just give me and my girl a ride, like 3-4 minutes? It's literally right up the street. We just don't want to be walking. We already seen cars sliding and all that." And he's like, "Oh yeah." Bro, when I said that, bro went back, pulled out two 40s, two big old, if you guys don't know what 40s are, they're these things. I don't even know if I pull it up. 40. These big old bottles, these big old things. And he stacked them after I said that. I was like, you were not going to buy those until I said something, but whatever. He was like, I'm going to take advantage of this. Got that, some chips, all that. I was like, okay, whatever. I paid it off. Dude's inside of the car was sketchy. it was sketchy. I felt like we might not be driven home. We might be taken somewhere else. Luckily, though, it was all cool and chill, and I was just scared for nothing. But that's the risks you take when you're freezing in Dallas, Texas. So, more of the story is be prepared. And this time we were, because you guys know, especially if you were living like in the center of the states, there was another big storm that just happened last week. Fully prepared this time. Beginning of the week, we went to the grocery store, stockpiled on food and stuff. So when we were locked in, and it did get like really snowy. In fact, here I have some photos of went outside and took some pics of my my little baby, in the snow, because it was our first little snowy time. Let me see if I can get a good photo. But yeah, it's just right there. Oh, let me put it out there. I know it's like, why'd you take your baby out in the snow? Well, I wanted a snowy photo with you could barely see. It's not a great photo, but we were outside and it was snowing. It was great, and all is good. Hopefully, everybody else was safe. No power outages. Everything was good. Yeah. Recast Jigsaw with Jamie Campbell Bower. Is that the guy who played Vecna? Honestly, would not be a bad casting choice. I like that. I like that. But I think the thing also with Jigsaw is he has to be like an old man, because he doesn't start his journey until after he's been diagnosed with cancer. He has his car accident, comes to his revelation. You can't do a Jigsaw that young, because he was just a regular dude who was good at engineering. That thing Trevor does for Simon at the end of Wonder Man was such a funny callback to Iron Man 3. The show really made me see him as more than just a comic relief character. I agree. Whenever you'll never see me coming. I remember when the Iron Man trailers were everywhere, and that's all I could say. That was my vocal stim for that. And you'll never see me come. And he said it again 13 years later, and I was like, just wanted to play that one more time. Chris, why did you ticked off Angry Birds fans in the prediction video? I grew up with Angry Birds and I'm hyped for it. You didn't disrespect me too, I'm starting to think you just like everything, buddy. I'm going to go right now to the comments section of that video. I'm going to type in Angry Birds and I'm going to see if there's any genuine hate. Let's see. I will eat my words. Angry Birds. Angry Bird fans are shooters. I have one here that says, don't hate Angry Birds. I never played the games, but I love the movies. That right there. You're right. The Angry Bird fans are shooters. Shooting some birds. Yeah, I figured. I mean, it just happens to every generation. There's the group of kids that watch the, for me it was Cat in the Hat, right? For you, it might have been Angry Birds. For some, it might have been Surf's Up. I had an argument with a relative of mine where they're like, oh, you didn't see Surf's Up? And I'm like, that freaking penguin surfing? Pfft. And they're like, oh, that's my childhood. I'm like, yeah, I know. You didn't have cable and they rented the DVD over and over for you. So what? Fake fans. Just kidding. Finally checked out Black Phone 2. Do you think someone in Blumhouse actively likes to ruin cool ideas? Hey, I liked Black Phone 2. I thought it was kind of cool the way they went with, but you're not alone, dude. A lot of people did not like it. In fact, I think I would say it was like 40-60 in terms of people, especially if you were such a big fan of that first one. I saw a lot of people who were huge fans of the first movie did not like the new idea. I dug what they were doing. We'll see if the third movie, though, can kind of cap it off. I feel like they got to do a third one to kind of wrap things up. Still felt like there's some open-ended things with it. But, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry you didn't like it, but I thought it was kind of cool. I just wish there was a higher body count. Do you think Stumacher is dead or alive in screen? I think he's dead. I think it's just going to be like AI, and that's what the killer's using. Louis, JJ Art says Jared Bush, the director of Zootopia 2, came out and said that the bird feather is a hawk Maui feather from Moana. The reason because they didn't have a bird design ready. Oh, wow. Well, that's good to know. We'll see if that's what they actually end up using for it, though. Can I make you a tribute for your birthday, Chris? I hope if it's a video. Well, and I didn't mean it like that. Like an edit, sure. Live 13 waiting for a 3C short live 13 waiting for a 3C short. How do you think right now with what is going on in the US will affect movies like Marvel? A lot of their cast like Hawkeye is problematic. Now Hulk actor is the best. I think to me we preach free speech all the time. I guess that should go both ways. Even if I disagree sometimes with what other people said, not with Mark Ruffalo's comments. But you know what? It should be they're allowed to say what they want, and I think as long as it's not hurting anybody and they're just giving their opinion, still let them be part of the movies and do what they do. At the end of the day, if you don't value a celebrity's opinion, then why do you let it rile you up if you don't like what they say? Did you hear that Catherine O'Hara died? What? This is the first I'm hearing about it, man. Definitely don't play the beginning of this live. Please, no more using everything DCU links. They just take other people's stuff, act like they sourced it, and use speculation as. All right, I'll keep that in mind and look out for the best accounts to use. Someone said you didn't know. Yes, I knew. Someone said crazy sound effect. I know it is crazy to use, but it's also the right sound effect to use, right? Imagine if I use the clap soundbite. I was more making a joke though of the guy who was like, "Did you hear?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard, buddy." Not at Catherine O'Hara. She's a queen. Wonder Man Def took notes from Bill Hader's Barry, and I love it for that. Can he be the peacemaker for the MCU, or will Daredevil hold that crown until the end of time? Well, what do you mean by like the peacemaker? Just the one with like the most popular show, or what we got going on? I don't even know what the peacemaker of the DCU means, because I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a big player in Man of Tomorrow. I'm thinking he's gonna be part of that story. But I would like more Wonder Man. I would like to see what else goes on with that. The showrunner for Lanterns, David, has a special thanks credit for Pixar's Hoppers as he gave some writing advice to the director. Oh, well, that's good to hear. And people are saying it's good. That one review we saw. I'm writing a 2-part Beatles movie. Part 1 focuses on Paul and John, and part 2 focuses on George and Ringo. Would you like a cameo? R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. Just watched John Candy, which she was in. Oh, I still got to watch that doc. It's nice that she was in it. I'm reading James Gunn replies on Threads lately, and it feels like he's so annoyed with some of the fan base with all the weird speculation dooming. He doesn't have to respond. I think that's what the funny thing is. Like, no one is forcing you to respond, James. But I agree. Sometimes I sometimes peek on his threads as well and his replies, and I'm like, you don't sound happy talking to us, so why are you? I think he just likes to be I think he likes the obvious gotcha when someone just messages like something dumb like, "Is it true we're getting the Batman Part 2 trailer at the Super Bowl?" And he's like, "Oh, easy dub." Well, that'll be kind of hard when we haven't even filmed. Oh, I bet he feels like an idiot now. I think that's what James Gunn likes to do. The easy dubs. Any Final Destination 7 news? Last we heard, new directors. No idea though on the premise or what they got going on, but I'm on board. I had fun with the last one, and I'm glad people were showing up to the theater for it and excited. So I can't wait to see what they do next. Yo, Papa 3C Films. Any interest about Pinterest, like dream room decoration ideas or art? Also, what's your favorite flavor taco and quesadilla? I don't know. What's the last thing I don't even know what I would get on Pinterest for. I think I only did Pinterest. Wait, what did I do Pinterest for? I haven't even logged. I have to log in. I think I would use it for that, for room ideas, decorating. I think when I was looking for ideas for my studio a little bit, but that's about it. As far as favorite taco and quesadilla, taco, fajita, quesadilla, steak. No chicken. Did you watch Click Up Movie? No. I heard that was like I can't say the name cuz YouTube still has the thing where they thing. Is that the one where it was an MOMO movie? Just put those words together. Oh no, this is a different thing. Okay. No, I have not. Is it good? Is it good? Hey Chris, did you see the crew merch for Spider-Man Brand New Day DDC is cooking? I think I did. I think that was let's see, what was it? Brand New Day. It was just like Spider-Man's eyes, wasn't it? Let's see if we can find it. Spider-Man. Yeah, here we had this nice logo. And then yeah, this is the one you meant. Yeah, that's nice. That's a cool logo. I would love one of those hoodies, man. Mordecai, Rigby, and Skips now in Fortnite. Oh, nice. That was like one of the last cartoons on Cartoon Network I watched before I had to grow up and then de-grow up for this channel. What is Yelena's role in Spider-Man Brand New Day? Oh yeah, I forgot. Yelena's supposed to be in this. Do you think they do a Spider-Man Will Return Avengers Doomsday and confuse people to think Tom, but it's Toby? That'd be a funny way to do it, right? Like Spider-Man will return for Doomsday, which is right because Toby's there, but it's not the Tom Holland one. To me, it's either something at the beginning where Yelena's trying to recruit Spider-Man as a full-time Avenger, but Spidey's just like, I'm doing my own thing, saving New York, but you guys are doing great. You do you. Or it's the post-credit scene where it's like, hey, something's going down. We need you, Spidey. Top 5 favorite M&Ms. Oh my goodness. What do I Okay, I like The Way That I Am. I like Beautiful. Slim Shady, the real Slim Shady. I'm going to think of some other ones. There's like a ton. I'm trying to think of like which are my favorite ones. Let me go to my freaking Eminem. Sometimes I look at like the tops. Oh, Lose Yourself, of course. Lose Yourself is up there. And I'll go trying to hit. I like Cleaning Out My Closet a lot, even though M doesn't like that song anymore. You know what? I'm gonna go to his first album, which was Infinite. I like Infinite a lot. That song. It's kind of a underrated. So Venom. Venom. We got some Pooh 3 updates. Yeah, I saw that they've cast people. They're getting started. We'll be filming this summer. Good for them. Hope it's exciting. Chris, the other day I watched your Sunday live stream and my GF questioned why your damn video never ended. He's like, dang, what's that boy doing? He goons for us. Did you see Grant Gustin's blonde hair and physique? Maybe playing the Flash again in Man tomorrow. Also, what are your thoughts? I got some bad news for you, buddy, because, again, based off James Gunn's reply, ain't gonna happen. James Gunn, was it Gustin? Let's see. Let me show you what James Gunn had to say about this, because you ain't gonna like it. So, somebody, I think, commented saying, make him the Flash, or have him back as the Flash. And James Gunn said, it happened on TV for 9 seasons. Basically saying he got his time. He got whole 9 seasons of it. Yeah, okay, this is what the person said. This has got to happen. It happened on TV for 9 seasons. So I don't think it's happening, buddy. I think Grant Gustin's just preparing for his next role. Just got out of Iron Lung. It was all right. Markiplier did try his acting and storyline was good, but the third act and ending was worse. Not great. Yeah, I wanted to like it more than I did. Markiplier didn't comment on my review, which is fine. I saw him commented on Moist Criticals, which makes sense that they actually know each other in real life. I don't know Mark at all. I did get Markiplier's mom to comment on mine. Yeah, that's right. Hit the big leagues. I've gotten the Scott from FNAF, and I've got Mama Markiplier right there. That's Mama Plier. That's her real account. I checked. I double checked it. Those are so far the most famous people that have left comments on my video, at least that I'm aware of. Scott Cawthon and Mama Plier. So I feel honored. Also, TASM 2 had a Super Bowl ad in 2014. Wow. So they have done it for Spider-Man. If you could make any bad movie become a masterpiece, what movie would you choose? Oh, to me, I was so excited for Downsizing. Downsizing was one that I was like so excited for. I thought it was an interesting premise. I just didn't like the direction the movie went and what they did with it. So that one. What's another one that 65 was another one. I had a friend ask me about this. He saw that it was like on HBO Max or something, and he was like, "Is 65 a good movie? Because like, why wouldn't this look cool, right? You got a dinosaur, Adam Driver, futuristic wilderness world. I wish 65 was better than it came out to be. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of like some original IPs. I know people in the chat are saying Thor: Love and Thunder. Deadpool Wolverine was pretty good. I wouldn't say. I guess masterpiece is a different level. Space Jam 2 is a masterpiece. Good night, Drew. Get out! Is that too loud? That one might be too loud. Sorry, guys. Let me lower that one. I haven't lowered that one. Oh yeah, that one's probably hella loud. I'm so sorry, guys. Chris, when he lowers the volume on a soundbite. Dude, Incredible Hulk was on TV the other day. That movie is great. I'm not messing with you if you think the Incredible Hulk was mid-tier Marvel. That's honestly one of their greats. Halloween Resurrection, yeah. Someone said stop. No. I love that soundbite. I wish I overplayed it during this live. The way that meme. Okay, if you guys, I just have to explain it because if you don't know, so the story behind the thing that I'm doing, just to fill some of you guys in because you're just like, what even is this? Apparently, there's this anime which I can't even pronounce, Kukureguryu. And it's an anime about people who gamble, but they gamble so much, and when they get into their groove, into their flow state, as the kids would say, they almost have like a sexual reaction to it, right? So whenever the main character is gambling in such a win and is on such a high, she literally will do the thing where she will grab her breast and go. And that became a trend on TikTok. And when it first came up on my page, I was like you watching me do that going, what is going on? Why are people touching their breast and going up, and what is this? And then through the comments and research, I earned ball knowledge. I don't know the square root of pi. I barely know how to do infant CPR, which is important with the baby I have, but I have learned about this meme, and I've decided important information to have. And now I've passed it on to you. So, hey, you're welcome. Now you're aware and in the know, and when I do this crazy thing, it makes sense to you. All right, let's move on. Let's see. Rip Catherine O'Hara, Home Alone will be so different. Yeah, man. I'm so shocked with how Macaulay Culkin is now getting back into acting. It seems like he showed up in an episode of Fallout, which I thought was kind of cool in season 2, and he's doing other things and appearances. He even did commercials about Home Alone all over again. You would think Disney would jump on that, having that brand and knowing the power of nostalgia, that they would do something. It's gonna suck that they can't do that with Catherine O'Hara, but also I'm gonna miss her in season 2 of the studio. With Wonder Man out, where does it rank among the other MCU Disney shows in your opinion? To me, it is like either top 3 or top 4. I still have Loki and WandaVision as number 1, as the top 2. Loki number 1, then WandaVision. And yeah, I could honestly then go Wonder Man and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then I'd have to really like dig into like maybe Hawkeye. Uh, I'd have to look into others. Oh, See, to me, I just still don't even consider Daredevil fully a show because my main love to it comes from the Netflix series. But Born Again was good. Born Again was good. So okay, you're right. If I do Wonder Man, I'd do Born Again after Wonder Man, and then Falcon Winter Soldier. I'm curious about season 2. The trailer looked good. I like that music they had in it. If you could make a silly or funny movie more serious and dark, which would you choose and vice versa? Okay, so a silly or funny movie more serious and a dark movie, I guess more silly. Okay, I would love to see Saw. Let's do Saw as a comedy. What would that look like and what would those traps be? You would have to entirely it would basically be Fear Factor the movie. That could be crazy. As far as a comedy, I would like Step Brothers, the horror movie, where they actually kill everyone around them. I love Step Brothers. All right, probably not great answers, but yeah, R-rated Home Alone. They kind of did that in Violent Night. There's also a movie. What was it called? Better Watch Out. Also did like a rated R Home Alone thing. It was pretty cool. What video game turned movie would you like to direct if you could? Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z. Oh, sorry. I just saw you said here. Also, favorite Dragon Ball character and favorite Saiyan. I thought you were giving me options. So that's why I said it immediately. And favorite Saiyan form. Keep up the awesome work. Okay, what video game? Let me try Crash Bandicoot. I think I'd epically fail, but let me just try Crash Bandicoot. If not that. Dude, I was obsessed with SSX Tricky. I don't even know if that's the right way to say it. And I don't even know how you come up with a storyline for that. But dude, for some reason, I would play this game, this exact game. The soundtrack on it, bussin'. Such a great soundtrack. I never thought I'd be obsessed. I even had the PSP version of this game. It's to rock around, all time. It's tricky. It's tricky. Dude, I love that game. So let me just do some SSX Tricky. As far as favorite Dragon Ball character, Gohan, probably, I mean, you could say Super Saiyan 2. I wasn't a big fan of like when Gohan was just on the mystical form. I get the meaning and stuff behind it, but I was like, I miss his gold hair. So I guess Gohan's my favorite character, but favorite transformation. Does Gotenks count? That counts as a transformation. What 2026 movie could you see get delayed? Brand New Day right now with just how little the marketing has begun. That's really the only one that comes to mind. I can't see what else. Maybe Dune if they just don't want to be with the Avengers Doomsday. Get delayed just a little bit over. Those are the ones. Greatest Super Bowl trailer of all time. Ooh. What is the greatest Super Bowl trailer? The Eminem one. And that's why I don't do commercials.
I get asked to do commercials all the time, and I always say the same thing. First, I need some hot chicks. Second, we film at my house, so I ain't gotta go anywhere. Third, I record my own song. Yo, bring it. Cool, refreshing, nice tea, drink it. Oh, wardrobe malfunction. But once I try their products, I always hate them, so I bounce. Damn, that is pretty good. But I got one final demand.
No, we can't change the name to Eminem's Yo, bring it, bitch, num, mother, you.
Nice! See? That's why I don't do commercials.
I like that one. That's the only one that came to mind. I would also like the commercials that would make me cry. I don't know. It's hey. Things elicit a reaction. Bro cried from a commercial. NPC isn't even a word for him. We need to create a new phrase for that kind of guy. But dude, sometimes they would make ones that were actually pretty sad. I think there was like one about a horse that was going to go to a glue factory and you're like, not you, horsey. I think Google is always good at those too. It's like tell the life and story of somebody. Someone said bot. Okay. Get a load of this guy. Come on now. Is there anybody who's had a commercial that's made them cry? I'm not gonna watch one right now because I never cry. I'm so excited for Scream 7. 6th the most anticipated movie of 2026. I hope Stu is alive or set up their future. I think the killer is the sister from 5. The sister from 5. Talking about like Jana or Melissa Barrera or Stu's the sister. That would be cool. Chris, Liv Morgan, Riri, and Stephanie. Are these wrestlers? I think those are. I think I know who Liv Morgan. Was she the one that was on Chucky? Right, she's the one that made the Chucky appearance, right? I mean, yeah, these should be my reason enough to watch wrestling. Love you, Chris. When we get Daredevil trailer reaction. So I watched it and I liked it. I just honestly didn't have much else to say than I thought it looked nice, interesting choice of music, and I can't wait to see it go down. I guess I could do weekly reactions to it, episode by episode. I'm curious about, I'm not that wild about Jessica Jones returning. I loved that first season of Jessica Jones. I thought that was really good. Was not a big fan of her second season. Don't even know if she got a season 3. But I don't know if I'm like crazy about them trying to integrate all that. I am curious about like Luke Cage coming back, especially if they want to like get him with Iron Fist and do kind of like their superheroes for hire kind of deal. I think that could make a good Disney Plus kind of series where every episode they almost like the A-Team. They just help someone in need with their abilities. But yeah, curious. Just watched Send Help at a B&B Theater, Red Oak, in 4DX, and man, fun experience. Also, what other Dallas theaters you recommend? My favorite is the Cinemark West Plano. That's the best. My favorite theater. If I wish all my press screenings were there, because all the press screenings be happening at Cinemark. I mean, not Cinemark, at AMC North Park, which being respectful that I'm even invited to those, but man, AMC's in the Dallas area just are not that well cared for. Kind of dirty. I think Cinemark, that one specifically too, because it's right next to their headquarters, so they keep it tidy and nice all the time. But that would be my favorite one. But I hear that's a good theater too, that B&B one. You are invited to my Beetle movie premiere. Also, first movie is in black and white. I love the channel. Any chances you'd ever do members only live stream with junk? Oh, heck yeah. I've been trying to think about maybe doing more member stuff. Just so I don't have to do as many sponsor things on here. I feel like if I did members, then I would really not care about sponsorship deals on the YouTube channel. Especially because I hate doing sponsor reads. They give you like 10 pages of words you have to say verbatim, and you have to fit them into 30-second, 1 minute. But I just want to be able to promise you guys good member content. I don't just want you to sub. I want you to have good content worthy of your time. Are you going to see Good Luck, Have Fun? Yes, I want to see that. That looks good. I like the premise of it. If Doomsday is better than Infinity War, 4 billion. Oh, I don't even think it's possible to hit 3 billion. I think like Campy has done the math on that before, but if we're talking exaggerated numbers, then yeah. Doomsday being better than Infinity War would just blow my mind if that's true. And part 2 will be darker. Oh, dang. Darren Aronofsky made... Oh, yeah, I saw that. Just why, dude? And aren't you supposed to be making that Facebook movie? People are not going to give you a good, nice chance with that. Or am I thinking of somebody else? Is Darren Aronofsky? I don't want to. I'm probably thinking of the wrong guy, honestly. I am thinking of the wrong guy, right? That's not the Social Network guy. Darren Aronofsky, yeah. On this day, yeah. It's so weird that he decided to do an all AI movie telling the history. Aaron Sorkin, thank you. I don't know how my brain messed those up. With Fantastic Four and Wakanda meeting confirmed, does Namor and Sue's interest from the comics be touched on? I don't think so. I think the only thing that will be touched on with that, and this is my theory, Sue in the Fantastic Four, they made a big point that she is a good political leader, that she's a good diplomat. There we go, that's the word for it. She's a good diplomat, which is why she was the head of the Future Foundation. When they needed the help of the Mole Man and the Mole People, she was able to work out a deal. And I think that's where her strength lies, and that'll be the smidgen of hint to it, is they need Namor. They need to convince him to be on their side to help them and not trust Doom or do whatever just for that. I think that's where Sue will come in, and she's like, hey, I'm used to talking to people from other countries and other world and viewpoints. I think I can get through to him, and maybe that's what they'll do, and that's how they'll have like a smidgen of like, you're quite charming. I like a charming woman. Thanks, but I'm taken by Pedro Pascal from Last of Us. This is the multiverse. I don't know. I think something like that. Female lead ranger, thoughts in the works. I've never had a problem with that. I mean, there's been long history of controversies with the colors of the rangers more matching the color of their ethnicities. So they would always make the red ranger the Native American, the yellow ranger Asian, the black ranger black, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's been skits and things like that. So eventually you're just gonna mix it around. The female ranger can't always be the pink or yellow ranger. I don't mind. Red Ranger's always been my favorite, though, so no. Get that woke stuff out of here. I'd be okay with it. Any news on FNAF 3? I'm pretty sure it's happening. FNAF 2 still made a good amount of money with the low budgets Blumhouse has, so we're getting that third movie. It's just a matter of when they start filming it, probably at the end of this year into being released for next year. Is there any point where fan service actually starts to hurt the lore? At what point does a franchise kill its idols to actually survive for a new generation? It depends. I was gonna use Saw as like an example where like maybe fan service could. But it all depends on how you use it. Like Fast X, Saw X used fan service in a way to bring back Amanda, Jigsaw, tell this in-between story from 1 and 2, and it worked as a kind of really good Saw movie. But I think the MCU is maybe hurting itself with that. I'm trying to think of like what movies right now have been hurting themselves with fan. I think Star Wars, right? Star Wars is probably the biggest one in terms of like such a vast giant universe. But in this giant galaxy, it's the same like 8-9 characters getting referred to one another, or that they know this person, know that person, and we can't really just get away from that and move on. FNAF, I guess you're right. FNAF could be one where the fan service is like they're so dedicated to just wanting to please the fans of the games that you leave behind the general audience in becoming new fans. You say Alien. I liked Alien Romulus, but I guess I could see the arguments for that because that movie is admittedly a mishmash of all the other Alien movies with some newer elements. But I honestly really liked it for that. Definitely the CG deep fake of that one android was like a little much. But yeah. I recently watched Begonia, and I loved it. I noticed you didn't review it. Thoughts? Okay, I did watch Begonia. I liked it. I unfortunately didn't love it. I love the bold swing it took at the end of the movie. Again, I don't want to go into spoilers or anything like that. Low key, though, it was the reveal of everything going on towards the end that lessened the movie for me. I know maybe that's what makes it such a thing to talk about or makes it so maybe not mind-blowing, but to me, I feel like I would have loved the movie more if it didn't have that ending and it played it the way you thought it was kind of gonna go, or the way I'm trying to be careful with my words, but I love the performance of Jesse Plemons. He's awesome in that movie. Emma Stone as well. I just not to say I hated the twist, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay, they actually did that. All right. It just made it goofy for me. And I thought everything was going so well as a character study that when it took that leap, it became kind of like a lesser Twilight Zone episode. But I get what you mean. It feels also like I saw someone that made a really good point, and I agreed with them. You know how Grace Randolph was recently, I don't know if you guys saw, Grace Randolph was recently getting a lot of hate because she posted a negative review on Rotten Tomatoes for the movie Primate. In her review, she admitted she only saw 2/3 of the movie before she decided to walk out because she was just there. And then people were like, well, you're fine to want to walk out and hate a movie, but you shouldn't be allowed to post a review of a movie you didn't watch completely. And someone gave an example. If I left Begonia without watching the last 20 minutes, I would say I love that movie. But because I did watch the last 20 minutes, I can't say I love it. That's how I feel. Seam Bro fan cast Bella Ramsey as Ben 10. Hey, let's do it. Let's let it happen. Well, why not? I'm gonna be an alien? Just kidding. I don't hate Bella Ramsey. She's unfortunately just put in those positions where she's just put in such spotlight. People want to hate on her. Curious what she does afterwards. I did see reports coming out that it looks like Last of Us season 3 will be the last season, and I'm just like, dude, they botched that because you know they were gonna try and milk that second game for like 3 seasons. At least that's what it felt like, because they barely scratched the surface in season 2 of the actual story of the second game. I cannot believe how much downhill season 2 of Last of Us went with when season 1 was so great. But on that note, I need me a Ben 10 movie. Like 5-7 years ago, Jacob Tremblay would have been the best Ben 10. I meant for movies. What was your question? I meant for movies. The last question I got was your Good Luck Don't Die. Or hang on. I think I saw one more. Greatest Super Bowl trailer of all time. Oh, for movies at the Super Bowl. I think Infinity War had a banger one. One of the Transformers movies, I think Dark of the Moon also had one that made me like, oh, the third Transformer movie. Are you excited for Boys season 5? Yeah, I want to see how it comes to an end. Definitely has to end with Homelander dying, right? It's definitely to a point now where I hope they just wrap it up well, because last season was just not as great as I wanted it to be, and so I need them to end strong. Fortnite Industry sends in some love. Thank you so much. Hey 3C, hope you're doing well. New fan here. Now I can watch your reviews along with Sean Chandler, Cody Leach, Jeremy Johns, Christian Harloff, Adam Does Movies, Austin Burke. You guys are great. All people that I respect and I do think give honest, well-formulated opinions. Some of them I've had the pleasure of meeting, like Sean and Cody, so I can personally vouch for them. Haven't met Christian, Jeremy, I have met Austin Burke. He's also great. Haven't talked to Austin in a while, but I love that dude. I'd love to catch up with Austin. All those people I recommend, though. Always hope to see you at the movies. I go to the Cinemark by the headquarters, too. You should do a fan contest. We'll ask for a pick if I see you. Oh, a fan contest? Like what? Like winner gets my socks. And my socks have holes in them. That's actually true. I don't know if it's my dryer. It's probably the way I walk, because as a kid, my mom was always like, stop dragging your feet. Stop dragging your feet. So I drag my heel a lot, or it's the way I walk. But I need to buy bags of socks every like 2 months because my socks just have holes in them. I don't know why I admitted that to you. That's something you should take to the grave. I already did that one. Okay. Oh, what's this one? What cameo would you like also in part 1 or 2? I would like to be crazy fan number 4. Is it just me, or am I excited for The Strangers Chapter 3, even though I know it's probably going to be bad, but maybe... Dude, talking to the king of that. I cannot tell you the last time I've genuinely enjoyed a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Since I've enjoyed, like, Texas Chainsaw 2003 and 2005. But every time they announce a new Texas Chainsaw, boy almighty, am I excited, and I'm looking forward to it. And I feel like I'll just be that way with a lot of properties. Admittedly, less so with Strangers, now having sat through part 2, and part 1 was such a disappointment. But man, I am hearing this is supposed to be the best one. I saw some people say that, although that does not mean much. So I am hoping for good things, but I guess there's a part of me always a little interested to see how the movie goes. I live in Austin. Snow situation in 2021. I'm familiar. I also heard Cody talk about Rivals of Amazing King. You heard it. Sounds intriguing. No. I need to look into that. I have not heard of it. But Cody's got some good underrated recommendations. There's stuff he's recommended I've never heard of that I was like, oh, I gotta add that to the list. Top 5 3-hour movies. Titanic, number 1. Avatar Part 2. And are we just capping it at 3 hours or exceeding 3 hours? Because then I'd add Zack Snyder's Justice League. Those are my picks. Is Wolf of Wall Street 3 hours? Wow, that flies by. But there is a lot of good 3-hour movies. Saving Private Ryan, Goodfellas, you're right. Yeah, I'm just the ones that go off the top of my head. Goodfellas is up there. Wolf of Wall Street would be up there. I did not know Wolf of Wall Street was a 3-hour movie. That was like, that one flies by for you. Batman is a 3-hour movie. You're right. Well, isn't that one like barely 3 hours? It's like 2 hours and 57 minutes or something like that. Endgame. Okay. All right. You guys have it. I throw Batman, Goodfellas. Bro said Snyder cut. All right, buddy. The Snyder, hey, I'm no Snyder bro at all. But I'll tell you, in retrospect, Man of Steel, BVS Ultimate Cut, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, I love that trilogy. I think it's a really great trilogy. I'm still way more excited and interested in what James Gunn is doing, but I actually, in retrospect, that as a trilogy, pretty dang solid. I said what I said. Fans see a movie with you contest. Oh, how about fan just see me contest? I show up in the theater, we don't put a movie on, and I just stand in front of the theater for 2 hours and stare at each one of you. I think that could be fun. Someone said, Chris, you missed a super chat. What is it? I didn't see what was the one I missed. What movie would wanted to have been part of? What movie would I have wanted to have been part of? Sometimes I watch movies where they include a celebrity like internet personalities, and I was like, oh, I wish I could get that. Like, you know, they had freaking, what was it? Calling Miranda Sings girl, whatever. What is her name? Whichever one, that girl that was had the lipstick on, and she was in Wreck-It Ralph, right? Or something like that. Like, I had a daydream, which is probably shows you how pathetic this is. So let me just daydream so I can bring it out into the world and manifest it. One of my daydreams would be an episode of The Studio revolves around how like an online review from a schmuck like me could maybe make waves and influence a ton of people and go viral. Maybe even just a TikTok. There's TikTok reviews sometimes that get like 2-3 million views and it says the movies suck. I would love to be that guy for an episode of The Studio where like I pretend I just basically play myself and I review whatever movie Seth Rogen's character put out, and Seth Rogen's just like, this guy, and maybe he's inviting me over, trying to butter me up so I could say his next movie's good or something. I don't know. I was daydreaming that in the shower the other day. I was like, good stuff. Let's see. Did you see my other super chat? Was there another one? Let me see. See these glasses, man. They ain't what they. Oh, here they are. OMG, thank you. Please watch last minute read description on your own time, but thank you. And for the fans being so great and chasing. Hey, I am totally fine with it, and as long as you keep it up and you also make it aware it's a fan account, I'm all fine with it and good. It's honestly kind of funny. It's nice to have that there. Just please don't get me canceled, man. I did see it now, Clipper. Thank you. For your first member stream, bring on Miss 3C. Okay, I could do that and just have you guys ask her questions. Or maybe that'll be a Valentine's special. I doubt she'd be down for it. The Rivals of Amazing King drops August 14. He saw it at FanFest. Then said it was his number one. Oh yes, I did see him talk about this. He tweeted about it as film of the year. Also hype. Yeah, I definitely got to add it on my list. I align a lot with Cody. With his movie thoughts. Sometimes we disagree, but it's ever rarely. I think most of all, I probably align a lot most with him when it comes to our opinions on certain movies. All right. That's the end of the live stream. We had a good time, but it's time for say goodbye. It's been wonderful. It's been great. I'm glad you guys were here for this. I'm deleting that soundbite, and this was the one time we were using it. Oh, we got to. Oh, you guys don't want this to end. Fave father son film moment. Now that you're a dad. Oh, okay. End of Forrest Gump. I know it's not a film, but it means something to me. Goku and Gohan Kamehameha to Cell. I did really like in Guardians the Yondu and Peter moment. And Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Not sure if you missed my super chat. Also, what horror character you want NECA to make? Leprechaun. I would love a Leprechaun ultimate figure. I'm going back. See. I'm pretty sure I got them all, but I don't see your super chat. I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, your last super chat was any Final Destination 7 news. We talked about it. Okay, that's the end, though. I love your faces. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are awesome. I got sent here Dexter Resurrection fan. Probably my favorite season. Eventually do that Dexter video. Adios. Love your guys' faces. Bye-bye.